Nan had to like walk me to a trash can so I could, vomit. Did not make it to the trash can. Literally not 15 seconds after, two guys come up to me and they're like, yo, you make the videos. And like, I'm pretty sure they just saw me like vomit. Me caes muy bien.
Dude, as soon as I got off, there's two big giant tits in my face.
Yeah,
dude. Like, it's crazy like how massive that thing is, bro.
You just got to get one of those knee stools where like behind the DJ booth, you're just like, your knees are on it.
That'd be sick. That'd be pretty funny.
No one will know.
Yeah, I'm just like in the same position.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna have my 200 movie around.
It's
gonna be like this.
You get wheels on the bottom
You're like
of it.
floating like from side to side.
It's like, yo, bring me my guitar. Bring me over there. Bring me over there. So we were talking about Duolingo off of camera, right? I met this guy in Thailand, and he knew how to say one sentence to me in Thai.
Yeah.
I don't remember how to say it in Thai right now, but it was I put 3 blue ducks in my butthole.
Hey.
And he has learned that sentence in almost every single language across the planet. Oh. So every time he like meets anybody, like, oh yeah, I can speak Spanish.
That sounds like some shit that you would do.
That's actually a really, really good way to make friends.
Yeah.
I did the same thing.
Because then you could literally say like an Iranian guy could come up to you and be like, oh, I know how to speak Iranian.
I lived in Germany for a while, and when I first got there, they would teach me this sentence, and I would say it at parties to make friends, and it was, ich habe eine große Wurst in meinem Hosen. And what that means is I have a big sausage in my pants. And that's what I would say to people, and it would make me friends instantly.
You got to learn that in every language.
Yeah, if you don't know the language that well and you say something goofy like that, people are gonna love it.
But then you actually have to pull out a legitimate sausage.
That's harassment.
An actual sausage,
like German sausage,
like food, like.
Yeah, but then it has the opposite effect of the funny statement, because like, oh whoa, he was serious. That wasn't like a joke. He like actually.
But then you laugh. You commit. It's a bit.
Like a crazy person.
It's a bit. You commit to the bit.
No, that's too much of a bit, guys. I'm sorry.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh my God.
This episode airs a couple days before Christmas, so first of all, I want to say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
But for like, everybody, Happy Merry Christmas Hanukkah.
Yes.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas Hanukkah.
Anyways, can we get a proper intro going here?
Yes. Welcome back to the I Am Peaking podcast. As one of our friends have said, there is an I in team. Oh, there's no I in team.
Don't try to replicate Daniel's intro.
It's a good intro.
Don't use it again. We just used it.
Now I'm curious. What is it? I want to hear it.
There isn't an I in team, but there's an I in I'm Peaking. I'm one of your hosts, Nan.
Nice. And I'm Jesus.
Bravo.
I'm Devin. Welcome to the I'm Peaking podcast. And today we have a very special guest, Deorro. Is it Deorro or Deorro?
However you read it. I
like Deorro.
I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I really like saying Deorro.
Yeah, that's how you read it. I mean, I'm not going to correct you, Like people in France say like Deorro, like that's how you read it, bro. I'm not gonna tell you to speak a different language.
Yeah. Well, what's your actual name for
my birth name is Erick.
Erick.
With the C and the K. I got best of both.
C and a K.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I was like, yeah.
That's a better Erick in my opinion, to be honest.
That's the both ways.
What's the meaning in what is the meaning in of Deorro?
So my last name is Orrosquieta.
Oh.
So my dad, when he played guitar, he would call himself Juan Deorro.
Oh, I see.
It's like Deorro'Squieta. So that's why it's a play on words, because oro means gold in Spanish, but that's with one R, But my last name has 2 R's.
Got it.
So I asked my dad if I could borrow that name. So
I love it.
It's borrowed.
That's sick. Made of gold. Let's go.
Yeah, that's
like
cool.
That.
Hell yeah.
That's royalty. That's some royal name right there.
Yeah, that's
it
awesome.
Works.
Yeah. You've been into the scene for a while.
Yeah.
For how long now?
Yeah.
Well, I was junior. I think it was a sophomore. I graduated in 2009, so it's high school. So.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So since 2000.
Wow.
2007.
So you say you've been in the scene that long. What was the moment where you were like, oh, I'm in the scene? Is there ever that time?
Yeah. So I was in high school, and I know there was a group of kids that they were older than me, and they seemed really cool. And I was already into music.
Okay.
And I remember this guy named Jesse David Kyle, and he's the one that because of him I went to my first rave, and he got me into all that stuff. And I remember when I went, it was EDC 2007, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, wow, I was like, I couldn't believe that something like that existed, and I had no
100%.
idea about.
Yep.
You know?
2007.
Yeah.
Wow.
Was that here in LA?
Yeah. At the Coliseum.
Damn.
Yeah. I remember. I like the DJs I remember from that was like DJ Markey, and then I think I could have sworn. I don't know. It was just overwhelming, you know.
Yeah.
And it was,
As most EDCs are.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, but it's so crazy how much it's grown, you know. And
Oh yeah.
yeah. But back then I used to sneak into all the raves.
Wow, we're noticing a real big trend here with the sneaking in. We had Lucy on recently, and she also said that she snuck into her first EDC fake ID. One of our other hosts, Daniel, snuck into his first at Bill Graham in the Bay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it makes perfect sense because me getting into the scene was like, how do you justify spending $200, $300,
That's
$400
true.
on a ticket, especially with something that you don't know if you're going to like it?
Yeah.
It's crazy when you go in there, how quickly you realize like, no, this is sick, and I would spend $200, $300 to go here.
That's true.
But
yeah.
like, you don't know that, and that seems like a foolish purchase before you get into it.
You know what? That's a really good point because
Yeah.
I know my first like music event like that was actually my college festival at
Okay.
UCSD as a Sun God festival, and that was in 2014. It was like in the spring. Right. And then I went to that, and it was funny because earlier that year, it's my freshman year of college. Earlier that year, all my friends were going to see like Zed. They were going to see Escape, to Countdown, to all these things. Right. They were a lot smaller back then, but and I wanted to go, but I like couldn't justify. I was like, I don't want to spend the money on it.
So much money.
Then I went to Sun God. And I was like, oh my
get
God,
it. I get
I'm
it now.
going. So then I immediately bought my ticket to Hard Summer.
Yep.
And that was my first official rave. Right after Hard Summer, bought my ticket to Nocturnal. I don't even think I went to Hard Summer yet. I bought my ticket to Nocturnal before I even went to Hard Summer because I just knew I was going to have fun.
You got the bug, man.
Crazy.
For
Yeah.
me,
the
it was
rave
Hard
bug.
Summer. Hard Summer was the first.
Same.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess technically Pop the Dream in NorCal was technically a festival, but it was at the Oracle Arena, one stage.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And I was like, this is cool. I really like it.
Yeah.
And then I remember like, all right, screw it. I'm going to go to Hard Summer. Went and I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, so it's interesting because like you guys talk about and like going to these raves and then getting like hooked on it.
Yeah.
You went to them and decided to make the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why do you make that decision when you go there?
So I grew up with music. Like I don't remember when I first got into it. I just kind of
Right.
just grew into it. And you know, seeing a whole new world with like where it's still music, but it's like it's a whole different kind of music. I guess that's what attracted me. You know,
Yeah.
as a curious person, I was immediately attracted to that part
Right.
of what was happening.
Yeah.
And you know, I remember like at the end of the night, you know, like all the friends, they were all messed up, and I was just kind of like, that was
Grooving,
cool, man.
yeah.
That was cool.
Grooving.
I had beats, I had sounds that I heard that night, you know.
Yeah.
I would go home and I try to replicate it, and then
I love that.
you know, so that was really what got me hooked to the point where I wanted to you know, it took me a while to realize that there's a difference between DJs and actual artists.
Yeah.
I remember one time this guy gave me a CD and I gave him one too, but mine had like 6 different little tracks, and he gave me one and it only had one track, and I was like, what the hell? You only gave me one track. I didn't realize it was a mix.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
And so like when I found that out, I made like a buddy that I was outside one of the raves at the Hudson in Gotham, and he was handing out flyers. I was like, cool, like, hey man, so you work for these people? Like, cool, you know, like I want to be a part of this, you know. So that's how I kind of you know, I started becoming friends with the people that would promote outside. And it turns out that, you know, you hand out enough flyers, you know, you get to go to these events for free,
Yeah.
you know. And
I didn't know that actually.
yeah, I mean, I don't know how it is now, no, but it's different. You know, back then, you know, there was some promoters that would throw small parties, and they'd be
Right.
like, if you can have, you know, help them promote,
Yeah.
they'll get you in for free, you know.
Yeah.
And then, so it was to the point where I got very, you know, like involved with certain companies. Like I remember there was one called Techno Fancy, and then I got involved with Fresh. I don't know if you guys remember Fresh Entertainment.
I don't.
Okay, so like, and to the point where like, you know, I got really cool with them. They would pick me up, and then we'd go hit different clubs, you know. And that's when like I would talk to them, be like, oh, I also make music. I'm a DJ, and then that's how I slowly started becoming the, you know, like where instead of, you know, I'm not trying to bring friends or anything. I just want like a little set at the beginning. you
Yeah.
know?
Right.
So like that's how it kind of started.
Interesting. So
Sorry, that was a long answer.
No,
No, that's great.
The more answer, the better.
Yeah.
Well, so what? Interestingly, like you said, you kind of went home and tried to replicate the sounds, and I'm only comparing this. I mean, I think everybody does it. They compare it to their own story. Like when I went to an EDM festival, I heard that and I was like, how do you make that?
Yeah.
I didn't even know what you did. Ableton, I had no idea what that was.
Yeah, I was only used to instruments.
Well, so you say you go home and you try to replicate it. How?
So I remember. So I always used to go to the guitar center that was down the street.
Yeah.
And I know I'd always jam out on the drums, guitar, I had my phases. And then like I remember I went up to the guy and I was like, hey, where's it like the guitars to make techno? You know? And because there was like a whole different section that I had never been to because it was like machines, And he was just like, oh, like did you make that on a computer? These softwares, I'm like, oh, fuck, like I'm fucking. I didn't even have a computer, But they had the little synthesizers and panels. I was like, cool, I can use that. So yeah, but I remember one time, I did eventually get a computer. My dad, he sang in a contest, and the contest. I remember I wanted him to get second place because he would have won a bike.
Yeah, but he won first.
But yeah, he got a computer.
Oh, whoa.
But thanks to that, now I'm make music now.
Wow.
Nice.
So your dad won a contest, you got a computer, which essentially kickstarted your career.
Yeah.
I think we might have just got.
Sweepstakes
I wanted the bike. I was like, get second place.
I think we might have just found the title of this video.
Did you? What was the contest?
Oh, he sang. It was like it's in Spanish called Sábado Gigante.
Oh,
They did like this, but he didn't go to that show. The same host had like a event for like some company out here. It's out here in LA, and so it was outdoors, and he won first place. Yeah,
nice.
Cool.
So, your family has like music background, all that.
Just my dad. Just my dad. Yeah, just my dad. Yeah, and
That's awesome.
But yeah, so we did eventually get a computer, and then I remember going back to that guy. Everybody knew me at Guitar Center. I would go like almost every day, and I told him, like I have a computer now, and that's when he showed me like different softwares, and it was like $60, $80. I was like, damn, and then he told me, he was like, well, we have this demo, and this is called Mixcraft, and it was like a CD, and it's funny because like I would put it in, and I would be able to use it for 15 minutes, and then it would lock.
Yeah.
So I would have to uninstall it, and I would spend all day.
No way.
Yeah, bro, and that's it. I wouldn't be able to save anything, but I'd be able to mess around with everything,
You're committed.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's just that's the thing where it wasn't even about commitment. It was just I was just naturally curious. It was fun,
do a thing.
And so yeah, that kind of grew into just experimenting, and then I remember the same friend that kind of got me into the promoting stuff, he kind of helped me out. He was
that's cool.
Yeah, so he's like, why don't you come over? Like I have like I think he had FL, and I would stay over and like I would just kind of like learn how to make beats there. And then
Sick.
Start him young.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's just a matter of like following that curiosity.
Yes.
Because like I had Ableton Intro when I first started, and you get that 15 track limit, and you're like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And then you just got to bounce it out and then open up a new project and just keep throwing stuff on there.
Yeah.
So if you want to make something happen, you just make it happen.
Yeah.
That's sick.
I mean, I don't have any music production background, but the best thing that story kind of makes me think about when I started dancing. So I've talked about it a couple of times here, but I have 12 plus years of dance experience. And when I first started to learn was in high school, and I was just watching videos. I found this dance crew, Poriotics. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they won America's Best Dance Crew season 5. And I found them on YouTube, and I would binge watch their videos, and then I would just try to replicate what they did in my living room. And I would like record on like my shitty like iPod Touch camera,
sick.
And like it was.
Can you do some right now?
Right now?
Yeah, some dance moves.
I can do like a wave.
Oh, that's pretty tight,
yeah.
That was
actually.
the nicest wave I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's pretty
Thanks,
good.
man.
You sure?
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I think this is a pretty good wave too.
Dude,
Wow.
I think you need to be a little more proper.
Wow. Yeah, where's the princess mode, man?
But yeah, it's so funny because like I kind of can relate to that, just seeing something or hearing something in your case, and then just trying to like replicate it. And I just remember there's so many bad videos that are probably just long gone now. That
But you know what though?
mine,
Like I feel like that's a very human thing for us to mimic. I mean, we do this since we're babies.
Yeah.
We mimic our parents, and that's how we learn. And like, and I feel that's always I used to be like a little embarrassed about it, but now I always now I encourage people to mimic. If you want to do it, mimic it, so you can get an idea how it feels to perform or to do what someone is already doing.
Yeah.
And then it's a good place to start, because then from that point you can develop your own thing.
100%.
So like that's how I used to remake a lot of Afrojack songs, you know, like, and that taught me a lot. You know, I would remake Benny Benassi songs. You know, I wouldn't put them out, but I would copy them just to kind of get an idea of like, oh, he used his hi hat.
Yeah.
You know, he used it. You know, he changed it up. This is how long he had the intro, and that's how I started learning where. Eventually, I started changing things up, and then I did my own thing, you know. So
that's how creativity works, you know.
Yeah.
It's like you copy, and then you figure out a way to change it into your own. You know?
At the bare minimum, you're just understanding. Oh, that's why this works
Yes,
together.
exactly.
That's why this layer complements this layer.
It's like putting together the pieces of the basics yourself.
Yeah.
It's like the thing you got to know is that creativity and judgment doesn't happen at the same time.
Yeah.
So like you can't be judging yourself talking about, oh, I'm bad at this thing, so I shouldn't do this thing, because you don't get good at the thing until you do the thing.
Exactly.
And if you stop yourself just short by looking at people that maybe do it better than you, whether that be production, dancing, whatever, you never get to that level.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like learning the rules before you can learn to break them.
Right. Well, you gotta let yourself be bad at something.
Yeah.
You just gotta let yourself be bad at it before you get good at it. Before you see all the
100%.
errors that you're gonna make. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know what? Also, like one thing I was really lucky with is that with music, there was never an expectation of where I should be or how good I should be. It was just always just like, hell yeah, I get to make music again.
Yeah.
That's
it was just like, yeah, of course there's in the beginning, you have that beginning, you don't know anything, right? But it's kind of like, but that's so much fun, where you're just like, oh hell yeah, like I'm gonna try to do something new today, and it's that drive that if you have that, that's take
it's always
advantage
those
of it,
songs too. It's like whenever you have the energy right, or that day when you're like, oh, I'm just gonna make something stupid or something wild, and those are always the songs that go so right.
Yeah,
every single time.
Yeah, it's just enjoying the process.
And
too,
while we're talking about music, before we move on to any kind of human stuff, I have to ask you this question: what is the story behind 5 Hours? I need to know. It's a classic. You don't even have to know that it's you who made it. And
it really
that
is
song.
a classic.
Thank you.
5 hours and 5 more hours.
So I just got to know if you went home one day and you made it in an hour, in 5, or what happened.
5 more hours?
Yeah. Actually, I did that song. I made it like 3 hours maybe.
Okay.
Wow, fake name. I'm just kidding.
No, so I fell in love, right? So I fell in love, and she lived in Livingston, which is 5 hours north.
Oh, okay.
And I had never really left like by myself anywhere, right? Like there was no reason for me to travel anywhere, and I want to go surprise her on Valentine's Day, and it was like I took a train and a bus, and it was a 5-hour trip, and I was only able to see her for like 2 hours because I was trying to get back that same night. Yeah, and so, I went, I surprised her, we ate some pizza. She showed me the city and dropped me off at the train station. And yeah, like it was like one of the first times we really ever hung out, so the most I was able to do is hug her, but it was like I was so giddy, like I was like I was in love. I still am, but like, it was that. There. So she dropped me off, and like I was high off of love. And as soon as I got to the studio, it wasn't even like I'm gonna make a song for her. I'm gonna make a song for this moment. Yeah. It was just like that's what I was. The way I was feeling that night. That's what came out of me. You know. Yeah. And it was funny because I to me it was just like another song. I was like, cool. This sounds cool. Yeah. You know. Yeah. And I remember the next day I showed my manager, and he was like, holy shit, bro. Like, you think so? He's like, bro, what the fuck? This is insane. Yeah. And I was like, I think so. It's too different, Yeah. And like we were like whatever about it, and then slowly like more and more, like I used to have a bunch of like friends come into the studios. Yeah. And every now and then, like, hey, I heard that you have this new song. This new song. I'm like, oh yeah, check it out. The intro. I really love the intro, and then like the middle part. And then they were just like, yo, bro, this is gonna be big. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna put this out though. It's too different. And but yeah, so the whole song it's a love song. Like where the audio actually represents, like for me it's just like the whole intro kind of like going up north with like the tires turning. I was nervous to leave, bro. I was like kind of like, damn, should I really do this or not? Yeah. So she doesn't know I'm going, so I could just cancel. Like I was like scared, I was nervous. I was like, is she even gonna be happy to see me? So yeah, like I always tell her, it's like, hey, thanks to you. Like, it's like, it's so crazy how all the songs that I write for her, like my biggest songs, like they're my biggest songs.
Yeah.
You know, like my other big one is Perdóname.
Yeah.
You know, like it's
I
crazy.
know that one
so it's
too.
like, I was just like, damn, I just gotta keep writing music about you, you know?
It's like, yeah, hey, you're my muse now. Can't go anywhere.
Hey man,
You're stuck here.
stories like that make me really like wonder why anybody would say that electronic music has no soul or anything like
Dude,
that.
for real.
Because like you go home and you write a thing with a computer about a true feeling, about an emotional
Yeah.
experience. You put your story of the night into a song,
Yeah.
and share that with the world, and everybody feels that story whether they know the specifics or not.
Yeah.
So that's like
And e-
that's beautiful. That's
and even if it's a
gorgeous.
song that like doesn't have vocals in it, you know,
Oh, yeah,
especially
for
with
sure.
that,
It's just
like,
another
there
way to
is a
express
story.
that love you're
Yeah.
feeling, express that feeling that
100%.
like is like encompassing your entire like soul and essence into
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
So much of music and so much of communication in general is nonverbal,
Yeah.
right? Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
you
Yep.
gauge how people are feeling just by their body language. So why wouldn't you be able to gauge how they're feeling based off of the sounds that they produce or the sounds that they
100%.
put out there?
Yeah.
But that's like that kind of furthers that point of like you went home and you had this idea or you had this feeling that you wanted to transmute into music, and it wasn't like you had to sit there like, oh, I got to make another song now because I'm trying to do this. It's like you felt compelled to make something, to express yourself, and that's what happened with that. That's awesome.
yeah.
That's super cool.
How was the change after that? Like when that song started blowing up?
So I literally had to get convinced to put it out because it was just really different to everything else I was making.
Yeah,
Everything was just a little bit like harder. You know, like I had songs like Flashlight and Yee and all that. And you know, I was just like, all right, fuck it. I'll just upload it on SoundCloud, and like, if I see people don't like it, I'll take it off.
yeah,
And yeah, I put it up on SoundCloud, and people were just like, "What the fuck is this?" You know, and I was like, "Wow, people really like this. That's cool." You know, like I'm glad it made me feel a little more comfortable with like I was grateful that I could experiment outside my sound. You know,
Yeah.
and yeah, so yeah, it started taking off, and it got started getting a lot of plays, and then my manager told me that Avicii has this label called Levels, you know, and he wants to sign it. I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. Hell yeah, cool.
Wow.
I see people like this song. I'm down. So yeah, he signed it.
wow.
And that's when
crazy.
that took it to a whole nother level.
Yep.
Where it just kept growing and growing. Where it got Ultra's attention. You know, and Ultra said we want to buy the rights to this song and we want to blow it up. We want to like make it commercial pop.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, for real? Like, damn, bro. Are you sure? Like, wow. At the time, I was just like, I didn't know what that meant.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I was just like, damn, like, like from what I was taught, like by just like, being a musician and among friends, kind of like that, like that's selling out,
Yeah.
Where like now I wish I could go back and be like, no, it's not, bro. You'll be fine,
Yeah.
And but yeah, like it was so much for me to understand. It was too new. I went from literally like not really being signed, to like all of a sudden having this deal on the table. And they were telling me like how they plan to use like a really big pop artist to take it to a whole nother like global. I was just like, it's already. I was like, well, it's already getting played, around the world. Like, what do you mean global? They're like, nah. They're like, we're talking global. I was like, okay, cool. So I was like, so you're gonna write lyrics to it, So I actually ended up. I was like, cool. Like I wonder what it'll sound like with lyrics. I never imagined it with lyrics.
Yeah.
So I kind of wrote a version, and I was just like, okay, cool. This does work with vocals, and I showed that version to them. I was like, is this like what you guys are talking about? And they were like, holy shit. No, this is not what we're talking about, but this is nice. And they were like, you should put this out as well. Yeah. So there's another version called Don't Hold Me Back.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was my attempt at writing lyrics to a song that I'd never imagined with lyrics.
And who's the vocalist on that again?
Her name's Dicey.
Okay.
I've done a lot of songs with her, but she's the one that sings on Perdóname as well.
Oh, got it. Okay. What's the version? Because I know I've heard a version with a male vocalist before.
Chris Brown.
Is it Chris Brown?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. By the way, that changed my life. Like that completely it opened so many doors, and that really took me global. Like that was my massive break.
Yeah.
And in the EDM world, I feel like it was songs like Yee and Flashlight were like that kind of broke me in the EDM scene, but like globally, where I was able to travel international and all that was definitely 5 more hours. Until this day, it's still, that song is a monster. I think it's crazy the power, You know, I remember when I met Chris Brown, we shot the music video.
Yeah.
And he came up to me. He was like, "Hey, you know, Deorro, like it was him and Travis Scott." That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like I didn't know who Travis. He wasn't popping off yet.
Yeah.
And he came up to me, and we have a video of this, bro. He came up to me, he was like, "Hey, I just want to tell you, like, by the way, like, I knew the song before the label showed it to me." He's like, "I want to say that's a really great song."
No way.
And I was like, "There's no fucking way, bro. That's crazy." I was like, "Thank you, bro. Well, I'm happy." Like, and it's so cool that like he kind of like pulled me off to the side to tell me, like, it's kind of like, yo, like, by the way, like, I really like the song, you know. I was like, "That's fucking cool, bro." And he ended up going with me to a pool party. It was out in Coachella, and he just pulled up to the pool party. That's what the music video is. Actually, we shot the music video there.
That's nuts. I don't know what I would
so
do.
crazy.
Yeah, we were just talking about, because when we had Lucy on, we were talking about like our favorite hip hop artists of like back in the like
I saw that
2000s.
part, yeah.
And Chris Brown is definitely like what I think of when I think of that
guy
time.
is just like he makes so much music.
Yeah, I mean, he's got an amazing voice. Yeah. But that's crazy. And yeah, those songs, I think 5 hours has like 160 million, and then 5 more hours has like 200 million on Spotify.
No, it's like
streams.
700 million.
Oh, 700
So
million.
long.
Oh, way off.
I just saw that number recently the other day.
Wow, that's
I was like, holy
crazy.
shit, bro.
Damn.
You know, like and I remember, you know, there was a moment like for a long time actually, where I was stuck in the damn, like I need to make another song like that, you know, and it's you know, to the point where you kind of it starts to affect you, you know, it's just like you have these expectations, and then you wonder like, you wonder like, damn, like how can I do that again? You know, I remember you know, my management at the time would say like, we need another 5 hours, Deorro, get in the studio, you know, and I'm just like, damn, like the difference between then and now is that like then I wasn't going. I didn't know I was about to make the song that was gonna change my life. You know, just showing. So it's like I need to try to recreate that. I need to not feel like I need to go into the studio. I need to just go to the studio, you know, and just make music,
make shit,
make it from here. And
it's
so
have a feeling good kind of day and be
exactly.
Like, you know,
but
I'm just going to the studio.
Yeah, and you know, and it's funny because this actually affected me, and with all for years, and it wasn't until you know I recently. You know, I actually took some time off of music, and yeah, you know, I changed my whole perception, and then now I've started making like I figured out a way to kind of just no longer be affected by what I thought was me falling out of love with music.
Yeah.
Right, because you know, music was something that you didn't have to tell me to go make it. I woke up and immediately got it was just something I just wanted to do.
Right.
Where I think anything, right? Like you could love to draw, but if someone starts telling you to draw, you should do this. Like you start to hate it.
Yeah.
Right.
Work first.
For the longest time, I thought it was my relationship with music. That me and music no longer had that relationship. But at the end, I realized it wasn't even that. I've always been in love with music. It's just what affected me was the business part of it and like all the work. You know, I mean, it's a blessing, but at the same time, it's something that like you can't. It's hard to balance both.
Yeah. So
I learned that, you know, and I kind of just started, you know, I changed everything with like my team, and I said like, you know what, like from now on, you know, I'm kind of like, I'm just gonna try to have fun with this. I'm not gonna like really listen, you know. So like, you know, I have a great team, by the way. Like they are the reason why I am where I'm at, and you know, I always tell them that like right now I'm so happy with the music I'm making because I'm having so much fun with it, you know, and it's just like. And it's the more I do it, the better it's getting, you know, to where like this is how I felt back then, you know?
Yeah. I think Rick Rubin said it best, where it's like making music is like going fishing, right? Like you can't tell yourself you're going to catch a fish. You just got to be there.
Yes.
And if you catch a good fish, you catch a good fish. You were saying earlier, the best song that you made was an honest transmutation of your feelings, right? Like a real thing. And if somebody's just telling you, make a song. You can't just make yourself feel that way.
Yeah,
exactly.
Feel
and
you
can't recreate something natural. Yeah, you just have to let it naturally happen.
You talk about having fun with music, and on the way here, I heard Yo los pongo. Yeah, like dude. I mean, like fun in a bottle right there.
Yes, and like that for me is a prime example of like, you know what, like I gotta stop being so afraid of really just going outside because you know, before that. Nothing has really like sounded like that that has, you know, so where it's like, you know what, to me it makes sense and it's danceable, so I know I'm gonna make it, you know, and it took me a long time to make that song, But yeah, just showing up. You know, like that's one thing that I always advise like up and coming producers, and then, like where they advise, say, they ask for like how do I get to I want to make like music that like becomes popular. And I always tell them is like just yes, that's everyone's that should be your goal, but at the end of the day, your main priority should just be to show up. Right. Doesn't mean that you're gonna make a song that day or at all, but the more you show up, the closer you get to that song.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's like, it's really important.
Good point.
Yeah.
It's consistency.
The more you show up, the closer you get to that fish.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's true. I like that.
You're going every day. You're gonna have a much higher chance of catching a good fish.
For sure.
You're gonna
What's
catch it
funny?
eventually.
What's funny? I've gone fishing like probably like 6 or 7 times, and every single time, everybody's caught a fish except me. I think it's like so the universe is fucking with me.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I remember I'll tell them, oh, there's fish over here, and like I'll bring everyone will catch
They
one
just
except
like
me.
go around your
They're
go around
saying
the lure.
the universe is saying, "Yo, your fish is in here. It's in Ableton." It's
Get back to work.
Get back to work.
There's
Your
always
white
a-
whale, your Moby Dick's on Ableton, not out here, bro. I really like that way you look at it too. It's just like at the end of the day, like you got the music, the business aspect of everything, but you found a way to like relieve that pressure because it's still there. It's absolutely still there. But you're like, you know what? I'm gonna have fun with this. The pressure's still there. The work is still there. But I'm learning a way to balance all of that weight.
Yeah.
My team, you guys are gonna take care of this, and I'm gonna just go have fun.
Yes.
And that way we can do a lot of great shit.
Yes, and like honestly, in the beginning, it's very. It's a lot kind of because like you come from nothing where you don't know about the industry and all of a sudden you get thrown into it, and there's no book on like, hey, like this is your story, this is what you're supposed to do. Like these are the decisions you're supposed to make. I had kids really young, but before when I was 16, my son was already 1. So it's like,
oh wow.
So like I had to like get to work early, and my original plan was to be a trauma surgeon. Like I was I was in medical school. I already had my CNA. I was already going for it. And then there was a moment where, like I would actually volunteer 2 or 3. I remember there was a convalescent home. I was doing inter community hospital.
Yeah.
And there was a hospital. I was all volunteering just to get brownie points.
Right, yeah.
And I would do like 3 of them in one day. And there was actually also a retirement home that I would go to. And at the end of the night, I would come home. And I guess I would still have some adrenaline, like from the day, and I would just get on the computer, just kind of like, with one headphone off, just to listen to see if my son's gonna spit up or anything, And so I was like invested, and I was gonna do it.
Wow.
But then that music is like, it started kind of like taking off to where there was a moment where I had to say like, damn, like this is kind of paying for some of the diapers, I kind of need this now, where like. Volunteering, I wasn't really getting money now.
Yeah. You still had to go to
And
school.
and I remember I actually contacted Laid Back Luke, and I asked him. I remember, he would always respond to everybody. It was great. I was like, this guy's perfect. He responds to everyone. Yeah. So I asked him. I was like, hey man, like, I know this is gonna sound weird, but like, I'm in a weird position right now where, I got my kids, and and I had to help take care of my family with whatever I could. But this music thing is kind of like. It looks like there's something here. Yeah. And I asked him, I was like, what should I do? And he's like, only you can know that, Yeah. But like he said it really like that stuck with me. He was just like, to be honest, he was like, look, man, like you go with your gut. Like in reality, like the best person to know that answer can only be you. Yeah. And I wanted an answer like now. I need to know now, Yeah. But no, it took me about a year to get that answer. Where I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go do my best, until I know better, then I'll do better, but and it was just I would slowly start to do less of the medical stuff and start playing more shows. Yes. And then I got like a normal job in the meantime to then kind of stepped away from the medical field, and then that normal job started fading into where music kind of started balancing it over,
so it's kind of a smoother transition.
And I understand how lucky I am to have had experienced something like that. Yeah. Because it is a lot to chase a career. I didn't even like, for me, I thought it was just like boom. If I make it in the music scene, well, I'll be set. But it's like it's crazy how much it really is. What it is to
100%.
And I'm really lucky to have the opportunity to have met the right people. And I'm grateful, man.
You might be lucky, but you allowed yourself to get that luck. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you allowed you kind of how we were talking earlier. It's like people hold themselves back.
Yeah.
They stop themselves from doing something. You only felt love for the music.
Yeah.
The music called to you. You kept answering that call. There you are.
Yeah.
It's like you allow yourself to do that.
And it's crazy
you know?
because I remember, like, you know, because I always ask myself, like, well, you know, was I being selfish, you know? And I can't remember a time where I went to go DJ because I wanted to go DJ instead of, like, if I could be home, I would be home, you know?
Same.
Yeah.
But you know, so that's why I think it also took me about a year to kind of, you know, like, no, I'm not gonna say yes to music just yet. You know, I'll get to it whenever I have the chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like I was still working. You know, I was making sure that my son had what he needed. You know, my parents. You know, we were homeless. You know.
Yeah.
We're like, yeah, I remember we got evicted. It was fucking. It was horrible being on the street.
Wow.
You know.
That's crazy.
But it's like that's what I was dealing with. Where it's like I also had music. You know, it's
Yeah.
kind of like,
Yeah.
you know, like that. So I think that's kind of like what helped me get through these tough times. Where it's
Yeah.
like I still had something that I can like that was actually like fueling me.
Yeah.
You know, and like
Yeah.
that helped. You know, thanks to music. You know, like who knows? I mean, it was some really dark times, but
yeah.
when I first got into the industry, I remember I met this really powerful guy. Right? Like he's big. It's in the, his name's Paolo, right? And he's like I remember him being part of like the whole like when Insomniac first started going up, like and all that. And I remember he came up to me once. He was like, "Hey, like I'm gonna introduce you to some people, you know." But it's like, you know, before I do, I'm gonna ask you a question. I was like, okay. He's like, do you want to be an artist or a producer? I was like, huh? Is that the same thing?
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, I mean, both, you know, both.
Yeah.
He was like, okay. That's it. Like, and now I completely understand the question.
Yeah.
You know, and
Can you explain?
yes, there are ways to do both, but it's very difficult, right? Being an artist, like performing, DJing, it involves full-time traveling. You know, like if you're gonna go perform, like you're gonna perform for an hour, but you're gonna travel for like maybe 18 hours. You know,
Yeah.
like, and you know, doing these tours. Yeah, it's difficult because with music, like you kind of also like whenever I go to studio sessions and there's writers there and engineers, like they're there all day, every day, and that's why they're good at what they do.
Yeah.
Right. And I remember when I was touring super heavy for a couple years, getting back in the studio, I was a little rusty, you know, where it's
Yeah.
like, it's kind of like, you know, you got to keep that knife sharp,
Yep.
you know, and that's why it's difficult to do both things.
It is.
Yeah.
You know, because eventually, yeah, you'll have energy in the beginning, but towards like, you know, after you do it for like 10 years, it's hard to kind of like really find the energy to have a clean, creative mind,
Yeah.
you know, it's difficult. And to expect that is like, that's like, it was so bad of me to expect, like, I should, you know, I could still do this, you know,
Yeah.
but at the
It's
end
a
of the day,
muscle at the end of the day. you know?
yes,
So-
yes, exactly. So yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah,
Oh, no,
DJing
all
and
You're
good.
good. You're good.
there's
Yeah.
a big difference, you
Yeah.
know, and you know, there's some people that are great at DJing and that's all they do, you know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and it's an art, you know, it's like nothing about, you know, like there's still, I have a lot of respect for just DJs, you know, and for me, I'll be honest, like I'm lucky to be a DJ, you know, I play the songs and this and that,
Yeah.
but I see what some turntablists do
Yeah.
and I'm just like, yo, that's fucking
Yeah.
crazy, bro,
Yeah.
you know, then, but yeah.
They're different crafts.
No, for
There's
sure.
respect to both of them, but it's totally
Yeah.
different. And to try to do both disciplines at the same time
Yeah.
is hard to do.
I think it's like the difference between being like a choreographer and being like a dancer. So like there's this thing in the dance industry. Sorry, I know I keep relating to dance.
No,
so that's
d-
the
no,
only, that's what I
that's
know.
good. I keep relating to music.
Yeah, and,
You're good,
and
bro.
so
You're
it's
good.
like freestylers versus choreographers,
Right.
right? A lot of choreography heavy people, they're very good at blocking and taking choreography, but freestyling is a whole other
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a whole other thing because you're thinking on the fly.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like and that's a separate skill from choreography, right? And so
And you gotta keep doing it to keep it
exactly,
sharp.
exactly,
It's the same thing.
exactly.
My issue personally is sorry, Nan. my issue personally is my knife dulling because of the attention that I put on content.
Right,
The
right.
fact that like I have to focus so much on.
You're in a tightrope
It's
of like
so
both.
hard to
Yeah.
balance that line of
dude,
like,
yeah.
okay, I'm gonna
you know
make
what?
content.
You know what? And that's the truth, whether people like it or not.
Yeah.
Like now, you fucking need the content.
Yep.
You need the content. You know, and so there's this kid that lives in Mexico, and I'm like helping him out, and he was telling me, he was like, yo, like. It's like I want to do like more TikTok stuff and all that.
Yeah.
This is important. I told him, I was like, look, bro, you have the time to do it. You should.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Like I get a lot of help with my editing and all that.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't care to admit that. It's like I'm not. I never said I wanted to be a content creator.
Yeah.
I'm here to make music, but I have to do this.
Yeah.
And but it's still a great outlet. Like I'm still, I still come up with the ideas and like I shoot the footage and then I tell an editor do it like this.
Yeah.
Yep. So like. But I understand that there are people that they gotta do it themselves, and that's something that's like I can only imagine like having to be so concerned with. First, you make the music, you gotta make sure you can't get the content making the music until you can make something else after that, and then you gotta edit it. It's just so much, bro. It's exhausting.
Oh yeah. You're talking to the right people for that.
Yeah.
This is why, and I've had this conversation before with other artists. Mad respect to ghostwriters and people who have teams and things of that nature. And I know like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, you have a ghostwriter, bro. If you're touring like 18 hours out of every day, you ain't got time to write music. So like you'll be lucky if like, yo, I created this melody, it feels good. Give it to your team that knows your sound.
The bass, they make a
exactly.
they set it for
Can you create this for me?
You can't get mad at ghostwriters if you're using
sure.
Splice samples.
Yeah.
And I love Splice, and I've heard
Splice
like big producers, like people that are blowing up right now, use just a straight up Splice vocal, but it hits. Who cares? Who cares how the music is made?
The only people that care are the producers,
right?
Yeah.
And we're only a small number. Like there's a whole world of people out there that's like they just want music. They don't give a fuck what you got
And
to
it's the
sample
same
from.
thing with content. It's like
Yeah.
if the content is good, who cares where it came from?
Yeah, exactly,
Like,
bro. Like
just make the stuff
so
good. Have
just
the product be good.
Yeah, if I find a song, bro, I'm not gonna enjoy it until I know where the sample's from. Bro, come on.
no,
Like,
You'll know
did you
that
write
after.
it or was it your
I don't
team?
even give a fuck. Yeah, exactly.
You guys will be surprised to know that a lot of your favorite artists out there have ghostwriters and they have a team of music writers for them, especially
And
when
it
they're
hit
touring.
good.
But to be fair, though, it's not like it's not like they're showing up and they're just like, "Hey, I'm going to create everything," and you're doing nothing. No, like the artist has, they have a say. They have
they still-
a baseline
get in
understanding.
there.
Especially when it's like an album. It's like cool. What would take me like I don't know, let's just say 2 weeks. 2 weeks to write one song. But if I'm touring all the time and I have a team, they can now create my entire album, knowing the sound that I create. In the same amount of time, in 2 weeks.
For sure. And I hope I can get, so about like a year ago, I kind of started allowing myself to get certain help, like with like writing some stuff, and I'm at a point where I just did a writing camp, right? Where I went to Mexico for 2 days, and in 2 days we wrote 10 songs.
Sick.
And it's like these kids, right? They're just so this is like regional Mexican music. So it's like guitars, the trombones and all that.
Cool.
And they're just in the studio and they're just whipping out songs like crazy. And I'm there kind of telling them what to do. I got footage of all this too. And for me, if that was like a year or two ago, I would actually like do all that myself.
Yeah.
Which is like, why the fuck am I doing that, bro?
Yeah,
It's like, bro, you're wasting time, And I did that so many times for Bailar, for Yo Las Pongo, where a lot of these songs, like I actually ended up doing the instruments myself because there were no sample packs. That's like merengue and EDM at that time. There was like I had to do it myself. But realistically, I could have always just gotten musicians, but I didn't know musicians. But now I do. So that's something that like, dude, like if you can get help, fucking get it. Like it's not like
Expedite the
don't like go
process.
say, hey, make me a banger, bro.
Yeah.
Just let me know when it's done.
You just delegate
know when
different
it's done.
responsibilities.
Yes.
You delegate different responsibilities to different people. And then
for sure.
you build everything together. Like
Yeah.
we say this a lot all the time. This whole like it's lonely at the top. I think that's bullshit. Like when we get to the top, I'm bringing my team with me because I ain't doing this by myself.
Of course.
Get rid of all the cultural stuff. Think about just the fact that like humans build anything as teams.
How the the fuck did we get any of this from rocks and trees, bro? Where the fuck
true.
where like?
Dude, we're
How do we get this
cooperative.
microphone, man?
You think competition all the time, you ain't gonna get anywhere, man. Yeah, you gotta work with
Yeah,
people.
imagine if you had to make every single thing by yourself from scratch.
They could put you on a brand new naked planet.
Yeah.
They'd be like, recreate everything that happened on it. I'm like, I wouldn't know where to start,
And even-
bro. How the fuck do we figure this out?
yeah.
I do feel like a lot of young new producers, music producers, they feel like they have to do everything because Ableton and the DAWs allow for, I can like do drums here, I can do my synths, I can do guitars, and there's this like pressure of like, because I have access to all of these instruments and everything, I gotta just do it all by myself.
I mean, you probably should learn how to do it all by yourself first before you
I think that did help me in the long run, like where I understand, like the cello, like I went to go learn it myself, and so like the trumpets and everything, and the trombones and all that, like I understand it to a point where like I don't need to perform it, but I understand it.
Yeah.
Someone that can perform it, I could just explain it to them.
Any knowledge is going to help in your
100%,
pursuit
yeah.
of like creating the products.
100%.
Anything is going to help with that.
Yeah.
But like the idea that or the old version of a producer, right? Which is literally your job was to organize instrumentalists into a studio. You weren't doing anything past that. You would hire
You
the
produce
engineer.
it.
You put it together. You
Yes.
produce the thing with other people as your
You
instrument.
could even
you
you could just put your wallet and you're helping produce it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
DJ Khaled, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, that's all you gotta do.
Another one.
Exactly.
You just gotta hop in there. That's all you really gotta
for
do at the
sure.
end of the day. But then it's always good to do more because it's not because it's better looking, but because you'll feel better about it.
Yeah. It's
more
You know?
fulfilling.
There's more of you in
100%.
it. Yeah, absolutely.
So with all this music talk and
God,
also
God.
Christmas, you got any unreleased music or Christmas songs?
Where the
maybe?
goods? Where the goods at?
Why? It's like hinting at the Christmas thing.
I mean, I definitely have unreleased music.
All right,
I've
let's
got-
hear it.
Just got him in his pocket.
We
He's
got-
like, which banger
we
do
got
you
it,
want?
All right.
We got it prepped for
Which
you.
one do you want?
Yeah, and then give us some
Context.
pretext context.
So I wrote. This is actually funny because this is also about that moment of when I went to go visit my wife now. Yeah. So it's like another story. Like
And she's your wife now.
Yeah, married.
That's
her.
cool.
I was about to ask, like, is the one you fell in love with?
You said you were still
Yeah,
in
of
love.
course.
So I was like,
Yeah,
oh, well.
Like, I want to ask.
That
but
could
I
be
don't wanna
good or it
ask,
could be
like-
bad.
I just want to know.
Right?
Wait, is this person like? Is this who you are currently with? Or?
Yeah, that's my wife. Yeah,
That's what he said. That's
Oh
his wife.
wow! I love that.
How many years ago was that, by the way? Like when you did that drive, all that.
2015 or 16. I'm not sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was born
Goodbye, okay.
that year.
Yeah, mentally.
Playing? Should I play now?
Oh yeah. So wait. Yeah. So yeah.
Where's the volume?
Turn it up all the way on your phone, and then Nan will.
Nan, don't
lead
hurt
in.
me.
Just let us know when it's playing.
Don't hurt me, Nan. I
All
got
right.
sensitive ears,
All
bro.
So this song is in Espanol,
Hey.
and it is performed by me.
What's it called?
It's called Me Caes Muy Bien. That means like it's slang for I fuck with you.
Hey.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna need the spelling for that later.
All right. Playing.
Louder.
Hey, you can go a little louder. You can go a little louder.
Because of the bubbles. I love the bubbles. I like bubbles.
There's that giddy feeling.
It's already so feel good.
Yeah, these are your vocals too?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Me caes muy bien.
Go on. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Keep playing it. This is definitely a driving down the coast with the top off kind of song. I'm already picturing the music video in my head.
Sin que tú supieras, me compré boleto para ir a verte el día de San Valentín. Solo quise verte un ratito, aunque dure 5 horas para llegar ahí. Me puse de acuerdo con tu amiga y me dijo exactamente dónde van a estar. Y yo ni supe cómo saludar.
So yeah, it's a little more upbeat,
I love it.
Well, it's interesting. Like it feels bubbly.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's like the experience of that feeling for you is like, I don't know, makes you feel like
I'm literally just like bouncing around.
That's the only
I
way
definitely feel like I fuck with you.
I fuck with you. I fuck with you, bro.
Like I feel like I'm in the music video looking at the girl, and I'm just like, you're pretty cool.
See, I'm imagining that, but also just my homies where I'm like, yo, I fuck with you though.
Yeah, okay.
Ooh.
This is one of those songs I could like imagine at like main stage kinetic field. Like at an EDC kinetic field where everyone's just like looking at their homies and their friend just like
Everyone's heads at the same time.
See, that's the thing. I feel more flowy. I feel like my body's just more flowy.
Here, yes. Right
For
here.
the whole thing so far.
Okay.
I like the bubbly sound. The bubbles make me happy.
I like that tambourine, the little subtle tambourine in the back.
Me caes muy bien.
I really like this.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is gonna be a hit. This is gonna be a hit.
I hope so.
Sick.
Wow, that was great.
I didn't want to.
that.
I really like that. I really like
I don't
that.
want to talk over the song, but like I find it so interesting that I just met you, right? But I don't know, like the goofiness, the kind of lightheartedness, and then the sounds that you pick for the song to describe that.
Yeah.
They're like wah, 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 wah,
Yeah,
wah,
for
wah.
sure, yeah.
It's so like it kind of characterizes you. And so it's like a piece of your identity in a feeling that maybe somebody else would feel, but it's expressed in your way.
Yeah.
It's so clear in that song.
The word I would use is giddiness.
Giddy,
Your energy is very very giddy.
Almost like
and that just went
butterflies.
right into that song. It's just like you're just giddy.
Yeah. Do you guys know the song 1901 by Wolfgang Amadeus Phoenix?
Yeah.
Do you know that song? This song reminds me of
Nice.
that
That's-
song. And that
I
song
love
is
them.
is an amazing song. You guys, it's like that song is like it's like a song when you like walk into Forever 21 or like Abercrombie and Fitch, and it's like that very euphoric. It's like that euphoric kind of like, but very also at the same time light.
Everything that I love about EDM and electronic music is like goofy. Pretty
Yeah,
much.
fun.
It's like, or it's like taking darkness and like putting
Yes.
goofiness
Yeah.
beside it. But
Like,
like,
my song "Perdóname" is actually a dark song.
yeah, well, I didn't know that.
It's like it's actually about it's about a couple that are fighting and like
Yeah.
he's banging her to take him back.
And Perdóname is it's like excuse me, right? It's like
Yeah, it's
Perdóname is forgive me.
yeah, forgive me. Yeah, okay.
But it's like a upbeat song,
Yeah.
The contrast itself is funny to me,
For sure.
to be
Yeah,
honest.
I like
Yeah.
that.
But yeah, a lot of my like I have 2 different projects right now in the works. One project is basically just all me singing. I have a whole album where I'm singing, and
That's dope.
and I'm pretty much geared up to where like, hey, if any of that stuff works, like I'm probably if I have to play some of this music, I'm gonna perform it.
That'd be cool.
So like, I'm
Is
already
that you
like,
trying to expand like what you do already, or
yes,
is that,
where that's where I come from. Where
Right.
like before I actually got into electronic music, like I was in a couple bands,
Yeah.
like, and I was like, I always wanted to perform on stage because like that kind of like that brings back the magic of having music there with you
Right.
on the spot, and you
Right.
can have the instrumentation
Yeah.
there. And like I feel like that's the world I come from. So like if I can slowly start to veer that way, kind of like that'd be great if I could end up on stage playing the guitar and like singing and stuff.
I mean,
you know?
the fact that you're thinking about it, the fact that you understand that you just got to work that in, dude. It's
Yeah,
gonna, it's gonna
and like
happen,
there's a
man.
way to do it. Like I can't just all of a sudden put out a rock album. But it's like there's a way to kind of start veering
I
it.
mean, Zoo
First-
does it, right? Zoo does it at every show.
Does he
pretty
now?
much. Yeah, he's playing live.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
The last few
yeah.
times I've seen a
Yeah,
Zoo set,
so
it's
like
been
that's
him.
I have to like I already kind of like planned it out. Where so first I'm gonna kind of introduce people. It's like, hey, you know what? I sing sometimes. You know.
Hey, just by the way.
But yeah, okay, just you know, okay, just keep it in mind. Just
remember,
me, okay?
that's my
Just
voice.
remember, okay. And but yeah, and then like I kind of still want to keep it EDM, you know, and so like the way the music is, it's like it's upbeat. It's like rock and it's like indie Spanish. You know,
It's
there's
very
actually
indie.
some with
Yeah, that's a good
still
point.
some Spanish and English.
Yeah.
You know, and there's still drops. You know, like it's still gonna be like an EDM show. You know, where I don't. It's
Right.
not too far off from what I do.
Right.
Yeah. We've been talking about that a lot lately, of just like more live performance
Yeah.
in shows. I know when we had Haley in on, she was talking about it. And then who else?
Lucy's episode.
Lucy,
we were talking about
Sanholo, all of them are
the term.
You know,
The term we've been using is like cinema, like cinematic
Well,
EDM.
yes and no,
where it's
but-
like very performance, very
Yes.
like
Dude,
full
that's-
immersive kind of like
if
energy.
if you think I'm gonna pay $500 to watch some dude just stand up there and just
Yeah.
do this and play music I've heard
Yeah.
1,000 times,
You
you
know,
got
and
another
yeah,
thing
and-
coming.
and-
Like,
Well,
you gotta add like a what I'm saying is like, I mean, all respect to anybody. I'm not trying to
I was
diss
about to say,
anybody.
unless it's Zed.
There's nobody in my mind that I'm thinking like, oh fuck that guy. I'm just thinking like, just in general, the scene is getting bigger.
Yeah.
The quality of the show is going to start to go up. People are going to start to
yeah.
expand upon their show, and that involves storytelling, man. Like music,
100%.
music in general is storytelling. So how do you amplify that in a live setting? You know?
I mean,
Yeah.
let's be real here. Like, I know I've talked to a lot of people about this recently. Like EDC Orlando, Escape.
Yeah.
The production value of these
Yeah.
events and venues are just getting bigger and bigger. So like,
It's
artists
insane,
gotta
bro.
like.
Sometimes like I see like that the stage is like, you know, like half of a human torso, like it's out, right?
Yeah.
And then you go and you see, holy shit, this thing is massive, bro.
Yeah.
You're like, it's massive.
Because you played at Kinetic at EDC Orlando,
Yeah, so,
right?
dude, as soon
Yeah.
as I got off, there's two big giant tits in my face.
Yeah,
it's like,
dude.
it's crazy, like how massive that thing is, bro.
The couple times we were at Kinetic, one of our other hosts, Daniel, he'd always be like, "Dude, the eyes are looking straight at me right
No,
now."
you didn't do it right. He was
Always.
freaking out. I was like, the eyes, she's looking at me.
Yeah.
So I remember one time it was towards the end of my set, and it was in Mexico, Mexico City at EDC Kinetic Field. I told my photographer, I'm gonna run around, take a photo.
Yeah.
you know.
Hell yeah.
You're like, okay, cool. So the part comes up where I got like a good like minute to get there and back, bro. I'm like running when I'm running, and I'm like, holy shit, bro, how far is the side? 'Cause
Yeah.
they told me, there's an opening. You just go all the way down and go around, and you're in the front. And I'm like running, and I'm like, holy fuck, bro. I think I'm just gonna turn around.
I'm not gonna make it.
And I finally made it, and I was kind of like already like kind of winded, and like I'm like off to the side, right? And I'm just like, I cannot believe, like as soon as I turn the corner, it's still like a massive crowd.
Yeah.
That's the kind of crowd you can't really see because they're off to the sides.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, I turned the corner and I started running, and like I'm totally not gonna make it back in time, right? But like I'm running, and that's just like, I can't believe, like it's so crazy how massive these stages are, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? There's waterfalls? What the hell? Like, there's like, and then
You
it's
gotta
just-
walk through the town to get to the front of the stage, bro.
I finally made it to the middle, and I was just like, fuck, I don't even think I should just go back. I should just stay here, you know,
climb
because it was the
up the
last
front.
song.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty fucking crazy, and you know what, I always, whenever I get the chance, you'd ask my team, we always say thank you to all the production guys.
Hell yeah,
Because
they
like
put in a lot of work.
that's
They do.
insane how, like, you know, it's crazy what teamwork does, you know.
Yeah.
100%.
Do you ever go down into the festival and whatnot, like after you said before said,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
like go into the pit, enjoy your like
Yeah, I do whenever I have, because the thing is, when you do those kind of festivals, like, you know, it's always nonstop interviews, and then like you take team catering and stuff, and but yeah, like one thing I like to do is I like to kind of like walk around festivals and look for people with my merch,
Yeah.
and then like I kind of
Cool.
just like surprise them, like, hey,
Yeah.
I like your shirt.
I love that.
Oh, speaking of that, actually, my roommate, she loves you, by the way. She
Oh,
apparently
nice.
I don't know what the connection is, but she's like, apparently you and your music is very, very deep connected with her and her family. Like it touches like her whole family. It's not just her
Nice.
who loves you. It's just like her whole family.
You know, that's one thing that you know, I have this like with music, you know, like say if my kids want to do music, you know, I've always had, like, you know, instruments at the house, you know, and but I've always told them that if you're ever gonna get into music, you know, you're gonna do it, and I'm gonna guide you, but I'm not like, you're gonna do it yourself, right?
Yeah.
I have this respect for music because of everything it's done for me, right?
Yeah.
And I remember the moment when I realized that it's not just me getting on a computer and making sounds. It's me connecting to humans, bro.
Yeah.
Because there's been countless times where people have told me like this stuff like that I do, like it's not. It's more. It's bigger than me, bro.
Yeah,
so much
like
bigger.
I've had veterans tell me like, hey, bro, like I was done, and like thanks for your music, I'm still here.
Yeah.
And so now when I make music, it's just like I have a responsibility.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's why for me, and I truly believe, because of the way I came into this, right? Like I didn't expect nothing from music. Music was my trophy. I didn't expect to get anything from music. Like I'd go to work and then I come home and I get to make music.
Yeah.
And because I always treated it like my trophy, I think that's why it's always taking good care of me.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty profound.
Yeah,
Not gonna lie.
I honestly can definitely resonate with that in terms of the kind of content that we make, because my goal, at least for my content specifically, is I just want to make people laugh.
yeah, me too. Yeah,
I want people to be able to relate to that, and I don't think I'm the funniest person ever. In fact, I think it's a lot harder for me to like I'm not naturally funny, but I can at least put the effort into finding a way to like make something funny to someone.
Yeah.
You know what
Bro,
I mean?
that's exactly like for me. I just want people to walk away with a smile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be like that was fucking cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a similar sense for me, it's making people feel.
Yeah.
Making
Yes.
people feel.
Hell
I know
yeah, bro.
I've told you this story before. Like I just remember it was like my senior year of college. At the time, I was trying to pursue acting, and this friend of mine, he was going to medical school, all that stuff. He's like, Nan, why do you want to act? And keep in mind, he's blasted. Like he's drunk as fuck, and like he's like asking me a super loaded question, like, why do you want to do acting? Like, why do you want to do this? And tell me in 3 words. And I'm like, what the fuck? You want me to tell you all my life's dreams in 3 words? And for some reason, I was able to get it out of my mouth, making people feel. It's all I want to do in this life. Whatever it is I do, whether it's music, whether it's content, podcasts, everything, I want to make people feel. And I mean all the emotions. Like I want to piss you off. I want to make you sad. I want to make you happy. I want to have I want you to experience your genuine, authentic feelings, because every feeling we have in our body, they're all meant to be there. Every single one. Like if they weren't, then you wouldn't feel it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how right I am, if at all, but that right there is what I think being an artist actually is.
Yeah.
Is regardless of like
100%.
making your music and having your brand or whatever,
Yeah.
what being an artist really is, no matter what medium you're working through, is how do you portray a feeling? How do you give a feeling to somebody else? And that feeling can be whatever it is, through any vehicle, through your branding, through your content, through your music, through your dancing.
That's why I always encourage artists to not be afraid to like, because I remember 5 hours was a very personal song. That's why I was afraid to show the world.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm opening up a part of me.
Yeah, it's like vulnerable.
Exactly. But the more comfortable you get doing that, the better you're going to get at translating feelings.
Yeah.
And the easier you're going to connect with people.
Yeah, I like to say, like, because I think a lot of a pastime that not a lot of people are able to appreciate as much, I think, is like going to museums and looking at like abstract art.
I love museums.
And I love just I haven't been in a while, but I love just going to museums and just standing in front of like a painting I don't understand at all and just staring at it. Because like you like allow yourself to really get in the feeling of like interpreting what it is that it is. How do the colors translate over to feelings, like you were saying, and I just think that's such a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And
that must be so fucking hard, because in music, it's like, okay, I have a specific feeling. Let me look for the sounds to let people know that this is the feel. Like, how the fuck do you do that with the painting? Like,
well, that's
crazy.
You're saying you have the feeling and then you create it like from the point. The way that I make music, or anybody does any creative thing, I think is like so different. I think it's cool that you say that you're taking a feeling and you're trying to translate it. Yeah. Whenever I'm sitting down to make something, it's always like, I don't know how I feel. Let me throw some sounds at the wall, and then whatever one sticks to me, that's what I'm feeling. That's what works for me, at least.
Yeah. I know. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just trying to reiterate that point, that art can be anything. It can be made in any way.
Definitely. Yeah. Like there's like there's when it comes to like spending time in the studio, I always try to like, I mean, now it's not as frequent as it used to be. But back then, I would always be like, you know what, today is not going to be about making music.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be about how far can I take a sound.
Yeah.
You know,
cool.
because like, you can't just always be expecting the same thing.
Yeah.
You gotta sometimes I'd go into the studio and just today's gonna be all about chord progressions. This is like
cool.
and it's like, oh, this one's nice. Sometimes a song would start taking up.
Right,
Fuck it,
yeah.
we're making a song today.
Yeah.
But it's like it's the fact that you're just there to learn more about music. The more time you spend with it, and the more time you spend on like, I remember one time I was like, today I'm just gonna record my voice, see what comes up about it.
Yeah.
And I ended up making so many like vocal samples that I still use to this day. So it's like you got to dedicate all that. The more you put into music, the more you'll get in return.
Yeah.
What you said earlier, how like music has your back because of what you've given it, like that. Yeah, that struck every chord with me.
Yeah,
that's
100%.
real. That's real.
That's real.
Wait, like seventh.
That's not fake. That's real.
Yeah, like seventh chords, dominant seventh.
Is it
Dominant
major
seventh
or
chords?
minor?
Yeah, both.
Oh,
Major and minor chords.
Got it.
Yeah, both of them at the same time.
All the chords.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to give a big shout out to the sponsors of this episode, BoomBoom.
Thank
you,
you.
BoomBoom.
Boom zoom.
So if any of you have ever been at a festival or a rave or just gotten that brain fog that you get when you're at a festival, the thing you need is BoomBoom, the nasal inhalers that give you that boost of energy that helps with anxiety, especially if it's the lavender smell.
Yes,
Helps with
that's what I'm getting right now.
Dude, she's stealing. I was going to grab that one.
There's
I like
one
that
right
one.
there, Devin.
It's on the other side of the room. I can't get up now.
The room, it feels like that's on the other side of the couch.
Comes in all your favorite flavors.
What are the flavors? Can you read off the flavors for me?
We got tropical, we got lavender, we got
Winter
mint.
mint.
This one wakes you up.
What's that
man.
one?
Wakes you up.
So for those of you who don't know what these nasal inhalers are, they are exactly what it sounds like. A nasal inhaler that gives you a boost of energy and helps clear up some brain fog when you're at a festival, a rave, or maybe just in a very smelly area.
That's nice.
In that smelly area, which
Smelly
we know
area.
is everywhere.
Dude,
Because some people,
Let's be real, honestly.
Let's be
Come on
real.
now. Imagine going to the festival, like going to a festival porta potty, and it just smelling like absolute shit. Just have these in
You
your
know,
nose
that's a
as you walk
hack.
in.
That is a hack. Just
That
have
is a
that in
hack?
your have it in your nose while you go to the porta potty.
Yeah.
It's true.
But fair warning. These have menthol, and personally, I like the smell of menthol. It's like very refreshing. But too much menthol can dry out your nose, so be aware of that.
Disclaimer.
Moderation is key. Because I've used menthol sticks with a buddy of mine for a video, and over and over for like 30 minutes, his nose ended up bleeding because, well, I mean, I was having him breathe too much in.
Yeah. I gotta say, by the way, this lavender flavor slaps. It slaps.
I'm sorry. You say flavor?
Sorry,
Scent.
aroma.
Don't
Scent.
eat
This
it.
lavender. I'm so
Scent.
used to saying. I'm used to saying flavor. Sorry.
Don't eat
The
it.
lavender aroma slaps. Just
You could just
to
say
you
scent. Aroma just sounds so fancy.
slaps so
Okay,
good.
scent. God, I didn't know we were the dictionary
Like,
police
there's
here.
a lot of scents. at
Anyway.
festivals. Get some good ones in you.
Anyway, specifically for lavender, it has been known to help with anxiety. So that being said, it's actually from, the creators of BoomBoom. They have told me that people have been using the lavender scent specifically when there's just too much chaos, too much energy
Yeah.
going on, and they just need to bring that heart rate down. I know they're called BoomBoom, but hard style, boom, 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 boom. The
He's
lavender
been
helps.
wanting to do that.
I've been
joke
wanting to
since
do
the
that the
beginning.
entire time.
He's been waiting for that moment.
Guys, I like hard style now.
It's like a big attachment to scent and like your brain and your memories and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
if
it
you're-
also helps with brain fog. If you're in a state euphoric and you kind of feel a little woozy, this wakes you right up.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the anxiety is very closely paired with, obviously when you are on pre-workout or when you are on something that is giving you that elevated experience.
Helps clear your mind.
So you want to be able to have something to ground you.
Personally, I have a bit of a problem going to space when I'm at a festival, and so using a memory, something through like a scent, gives me the ability
There
to come
you
back
go.
to Earth.
Yeah.
It grounds you.
It helps
Yeah.
me. So
Wow,
I'm
what's
with you
isn't
on
that like called something? It's like it's
dissociation,
No.
out of body experience?
no when you like pair
levitation?
something good that like makes you think of that good
It
thing.
grounds you.
and you. No,
That's
but it's
an
called
association.
something.
Association.
That's
I don't
an
know.
associated memory.
Mental association.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, last but not least, I do want to point out, because I use these, my mom uses these. My mom uses a Thai version, but it actually helps with nausea. The number of times I've been at a festival, as you guys know, I'm the rave dad. I have this, and I will like give it to a friend when they're like feeling super nauseous. Clears it up in like seconds.
Or you just slap them. That'll work too.
It works. It works if you like slap them with the boom boom.
Shove it in there. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Shove it in there. Is this boom
Shove
boom?
it in there.
Boom.
Wow, you really.
Anyway,
he's waiting.
Thank
for
you to our
another one.
sponsors. Thank you, Boom Boom. Let's go back to the episode.
Goodbye.
Get it.
So wait, I just want to go off of that though because all that talk made me think
Go off, King.
of Jackson Pollock. Who do you guys know Jackson Pollock? He's like the splatter painter. You know, the guy who just splatter like colors on there. And I remember for the longest time. So I studied film in college. Nice. And you know, studying film, you kind of learn about all the like the Viz Arts side, right? And so I took a couple of Viz Arts classes that were like, you know, history of art and stuff. And one of the classes I took was on minimalist art. And Jackson Pollock was someone that we studied, and I remember just reading about him. And before I read about him, I would always see his paintings, and I'd be like, "This is just a bunch of fucking colors splattered onto a canvas. Like, who fucking cares, right?" But then you read about him, and you read about how like he would spend time like. You know, he wouldn't do the entire painting at once. He would do a little bit at a time, right? And he'd be like, "Oh, I think this canvas needs a little bit of this color here and this color here," and he'd get a ladder sometimes, and he'd go like at a certain height on the canvas and like splatter the paints from there, and like everything was intentional. And I think that's like super cool, is that like you can put as much meaning as you want into something, or you can put as little meaning as you want into something. But at the end of the day, like it's totally open to interpretation. And I think it's just such a beautiful thing that as the artist, you creating that intention for other people to interpret, yet knowing that it can be interpreted in so many other ways is such a cool thing, you know?
Quentin Tarantino said that, you know, in one
I
of his
love
interviews.
him too.
In one of his interviews, he said
love
that
him.
he purposefully leaves that room for interpretation in his art.
Yeah.
Because that's why people like music, because they feel like engaged in it, right?
Exactly.
You like, if you like hip hop, the stuff that maybe makes you feel like a boss, the reason you like that is because it makes you feel like a boss. You're not thinking about how much of a boss the rapper is.
Exactly.
You're thinking about how sick you feel, or if there's an EDM, a euphoric EDM song, it's what makes you feel
How much
that
you
way.
resonate with
Yeah,
it.
why are you so euphoric?
Yeah.
That's really the idea with that. It's like the expression of, or leaving room for other people to express themselves in your music.
Does that mean I'm like the biggest simp in the world? Because like
Yes.
Well, that's
Like-
regardless of any other
Yes.
fact.
love-
You
yes.
don't even have to ask
yo,
the
like
question.
love songs and like things that make me. It just makes me like feel more in love.
He's very feelsy.
I seriously believe that the genre of EDM that you most like is the feeling that you like to have the most.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't like minimalism, you're not gonna like techno.
Happy hardcore.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, or you like happy hardcore. Like,
Yeah.
for me, happy hardcore is really goofy. It's
Yeah.
like you're
Okay.
rough, but at the same time,
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
you don't take
It's
life
funny.
seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
then
you're-
what is house music to you?
House music, so house music
what's
is a
the feeling you
is a
get?
big genre. I love
There's a lot to it.
Yeah.
So house is really big,
Very
and
broad,
so
very broad.
it's like a little bit diluted in that sense, where it's like you
Okay.
can't just say house heads are this way.
Okay, that's fair.
Why I like house music, that tempo is so goddamn groovy, man. 126, 128. I will shred on the
128
floor.
all day.
I could walk around a festival and I will love a lot of the music that I hear.
Yeah.
and I can dance and I can groove to
You
it. But
know-
if I walk by a house stage, I don't
Yeah.
have to try, bro. It just starts.
So
it starts flowing.
We were actually sorry. Go ahead.
I was just wondering because wonder what the feeling I get because I always think back to Crossed.
Yeah.
Like the Cross Festival, and like, you know, I want to enjoy house music. I want to enjoy techno music, but whatever it is
It's
we were
too
listening at
repetitive.
that time, I got sleepy.
That,
I
that
had to go
festival
take a nap.
is for house and techno purists. So that's
Yeah.
a lot less of like the insomniac kind of
It's a
like
little
build
more
up, drop, build up,
minimalist.
drop sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's like back closer to the origins of what
Yeah.
house music and techno music was
Okay.
originally. So it's just a lot of like purists there.
But I
Yeah.
would say like, so we were actually talking about this with Lil Texas the other day, and I think a big factor of the appeal to those genres for a lot of people is obviously the feeling that it invokes within you, right? But also, to me, I feel like if you can dance to a genre of music, it makes it significantly more enjoyable than if you didn't know how to dance to it. So, because I feel the same way about house, right? I can appreciate house a lot more because I know how to shuffle and I know the house footwork style,
I
and
got
I
you.
know those things, and it's fun
Yeah.
for me to do, right? So the groove is way more appealing to me
So good.
versus you know, someone who doesn't know. And so I think because I know, you know, obviously you don't really like house as much as, you know, some of us do, but
Just say I can't dance.
I'm not saying that, but I am saying that I think because you're able to resonate those feelings within yourself to the blips and blops and different drops and all the different syncopations of like a melodic bass song or something that's a little more feelsy that can put you in those emotions. That's why you enjoy it more.
I think is because Nan's the mega simp.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
like,
that too.
well, so if you get these like, if you get these like gorgeous like chord progressions that you would find in melodic bass music, and then it drops like,
Yeah.
that's that heartache that Nan
Yep.
feels all
Yep.
the time. And so he's just like, oh, this feels like, see, I'm reading him.
This is like a therapy session
I'm
right
like
now
in his
for
head
Nan.
right now. I'm in his head right now. He knows this is true. So like he feels that heartache. So like that
Yeah.
drop wrenches that out of him, and then
Yeah.
he goes to that feeling of like euphoria and love and all this stuff, and then the
Yeah.
drop gets it out of him. So it's just the feeling he likes having, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun when you can go when you're at a festival and you can just go to, you know, the multiple stages, like let's say like a Coachella,
Yes.
and
Love Coachella.
you know, it's so much fun to be able to, like, I remember when I heard Deorro'S for the first time, right?
So sick.
Right.
So
and
sick.
But like for someone that's listening to them for the first time,
You're like,
what
what?
the fuck is this? You
Yeah.
know? But right, so it's like, of course, you know, people, what the fuck is this, right? But for me, it's kind of like, okay, hold up, like this exists, right?
Right.
Yeah.
There's a reason that
People like
I
this.
just don't understand it. That's
Yeah.
it, you know. I always say, fuck that. I'm gonna understand this. I want to know, you know. So like, that's the same way I felt about Happy Hardcore, right?
Yeah.
I remember I was just like, I don't understand this shit, you know. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the stage. I'm gonna check it
Yeah.
out, and it's fucking crazy, bro. It's just like
So much fun.
I get it.
So
It's
much
not
fun.
really about like just shut the fuck up and like listen
Yeah.
to this shit. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's like and it's fun, bro. You know, I feel like, you know, like to I mean, you can't always expect music to like, it has to connect and it has to make sense. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes like there's
You
some
just want
music.
fun.
And-
Agreed.
Yeah, bro.
And if you look
Yeah. Just
to
around
feel
like that,
something.
you talked about this earlier. You're like, your prevailing characteristic for yourself was this curiosity, right?
Yes,
So it's
yeah.
like you go and you look at these things, and for me, it's the same way. When I got into the EDM scene, I was like, what is all of this?
Yeah.
What is techno? I was like, oh, it's all kick drum.
Yep.
Like the whole genre is based off taking the kick drum away
Yep.
and then bringing it back in.
Yep.
Like, what is dubstep? Oh, you get 30 seconds of chilling, 30 seconds of banging out,
Yep.
30 seconds of chilling. It's like
Yeah.
there's these patterns to these
Yes.
genres, and like you go to each stage. Festivals are great for that, which is why the $300, $400 is worth it. But as soon as you walk by a stage and your curiosity allowed you to go to that stage, that's when you find those airwaves
Yes.
or those
100%.
pressure
Yep.
changes, those speakers, that sound that you're like, oh, I don't even need to try to like this or try to understand it.
Yeah.
My body just feels a certain type of way. This is the one, right?
Yeah.
Or this is my favorite for now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a genre that dancing to it made you like it even more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's how I felt. That's how I feel about. So that's how I feel about.
Is Gammer hardstyle?
Gabber?
Gammer.
Gammer.
DJ Gammer.
Oh, DJ Gamer. Okay, I thought you were talking about a genre. Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
That was
Yes.
a surprising one for me.
Although I don't know all the subgenres super well, like
Yeah.
up-tempo, raw style, and all that stuff.
I just know he's a harder artist, and I remember like
But I think
experiencing it
he's
for the first time.
hard
I'm like,
dance,
oh, this is really fun.
Yeah. What was yours? You were going to say something.
So I remember I went to a ska show, and I thought it was a sped up reggae, you know, and and I saw that they were doing this like funny dance, you know,
Yeah.
they were like going around in circles, and I was just like, I'm gonna do it. Like I don't, it was like, it's funny, I'm
Yeah.
weird, you know. I was like, I'm just gonna do it, you know, and then. It was. I remember I was just like, "Holy shit, bro! This shit's fucking." And like, cause the thing about ska is like you have the slow parts,
Yeah.
you know, and then you have the fast parts, you know,
Yeah.
where it's just like that's. I wanted to go to ska shows just to do the circles,
just
to do the
dance.
skanking, you know.
Yeah.
And that's like for me, like it wasn't about the music at first. It's like from like I went with my cousins, and I remember I was just like, you know, it was like one of my first shows too, and like a first rock show.
Yeah.
And that's what attracted me first. Like, oh shit, the way they're dancing looks funny.
Yeah.
You know, and then
Yeah.
after that, I was always bumping ska music.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh man, like, you know, like I remember I would tell my boys that I was in a band with. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, you guys don't get it, bro. You guys just gotta go to a show. Like,
Yeah, that's why I think dancing resonated so much with me back when I started learning it, is because Poriotics danced to a lot of EDM and a lot of hard EDM, like harder dubstep back in the day. So I think that like they just happened to coincide at the same time.
Dude, look, I didn't know a hard style really at all, and then
Yeah.
I saw that steppin dance.
Well,
I
The
don't
kick
even,
step-
I
or
don't
not
even
the
know what
kick
it's
step,
called.
the,
I don't
yeah.
even know what it's called
Yeah.
like correctly. But obviously feet dancing is something I really like, but like
like
that,
Hakan or something.
yeah, I think so, but I
Yeah,
don't want to get that. I don't want to get that
Hakan,
wrong.
yeah.
But also like the look of it is so goofy, but it also looks so fun to do.
Yeah.
And,
Fuck
I mean,
yeah.
my experience with shuffling was I was at Hard Summer my first time, and I saw this girl do it for like half a second, and she like floated across.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, what did you just do?
Yeah.
Like, what was that? And I had to go at home, and then I found
Yeah.
some guys on my hockey team that could do this.
That's-
and
yeah.
I learned how to do that, and the rest is just history.
That's
you know?
why drum and bass I love so much because you can the kick step. The kick step
You
is
still
like
have to show me how to do that.
so
man.
much fun.
I will
dude.
say, I've been liking drum and bass a lot more ever
Now
since I
that you
started.
know
Like
how to
I
do
know how
it.
to like move to it a little bit more.
Exactly, yeah.
I still, move very silly like, and it's definitely not the kick step, but I'm having fun.
It is the kick step. You do it. You just need to like loosen up a little bit more. I think.
Yeah,
but you do it right.
That was my most recent fix with my shuffling. Was my upper body was like a board.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're like
Yeah.
this when you do it, but you can like
You'll get
you
used
can
to
like
it. You'll
use
feel
your
it.
top to
Start,
like
start swinging your shoulders
Yeah,
like
that's
this.
been
That
swing
helps a
your
lot.
arms.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you saw this at EDCO, but I've been just like kind of like
There you go. Wook
keeping my
mode.
arms
Yeah.
up and like flowing around because
Yeah.
like it's how I've been loosening up the
Yeah.
rest of my body.
I'll show you a video later.
like this
we're
move,
getting
man.
down. We're
I like
getting
this
down.
move, man.
Drum and bass. Actually, on the topic of that too, like we do like to ask the artists that come on here a lot of these questions, but like what is in your opinion the emerging genre, and where do you hope the scene goes?
Like, okay.
Yeah, you talking about in America?
Yeah, in America, sorry. Yeah. So I know like, obviously drum and bass and techno are like two of the big
And
ones,
let's,
right?
Let's give it a realistic timeline, like 5 years. In the next 5 years.
I feel like that's a long time. Maybe like in
It
the
is.
next couple years.
It is.
3 years.
Think so?
Yeah.
I think it'll change in 5.
Really?
Sure.
Okay, make it 2 years.
As a Latino, I Latin EDM. It's not something. It's not something that we don't really have our own festivals yet. But that's something that it's new, it's fresh, and right now Latin is blown up and it's become worldwide. So like that's opening a lot of doors.
Yeah.
And a lot of these Latin guys are down to make EDM. So it's like it's exciting, and it's kind of like. I can already see the vision for it, like how you can get your own pure Latin EDM festival, and like, where a lot of there's so much us Latinos have to offer music, and our culture is very, if you listen to the music, it's just like great feelings, like especially our party music, so we're just like, like we can, that's why I've been, that's why I did Yo Las Pongo, to kind of like let people know, hey, that style is great, but it can also exist in our world,
that song was spot on, man.
Thank you. Yeah. But it's like, and that's what I hope to kind of like let people know, hey, this is possible. It's possible, and like we just gotta, sometimes someone just has to do it to show people that it's possible.
I'm so glad that you're doing it, because it kept like the Latin influences kept sneaking into like tech house and stuff like that, right? And it's like that's good, but you don't got to sneak it.
No, for sure.
You don't got to sneak it. It can be its own thing, and you're
you
showing
can go
that that's
up and
possible.
you can go low. You can lower on the tempos, higher on the tempos. Like we have any tempo you want. Like we got the party music for it.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say you're essentially like the pioneer of. I feel like you are essentially the pioneer of like Latin EDM, and we see so
And the
much
face of it, for
yeah,
sure.
and we see so much Latin influence. Has come up in the last couple of years in pop music with like J Balvin and Bad Bunny. So that's really cool.
Yeah,
You're
that's
kind
what,
of like,
honestly, I really do hope, that like, I like you said in house music, like there are some people that are like making originals and stuff, and like, but for the most part, I see like there's a lot of people that are remixing, they're taking these vocals and putting it in house, and that's great. Trust me, that's great, because that also introduces people that don't know Latin, and they introduce them to Latin, they'd be like, I fuck with this shit. So then when they listen to Latin music, so that's great, but also what we need to see more of is like we need to see more people, taking the leap to make an original Latin EDM song, where it's like you're gonna grab these instruments or fucking find sample packs, whatever, and then find some writers. A lot of these classic songs that like you would hear at every birthday party. Those bands are still around, and then nothing's really been happening, and they're just kind of like still performing. And if there's someone wants to make music, and it's part of like the new world today, like when I approached Tucanes de Tijuana, bro, they're fucking legends, bro, right? They're like it's so fucking crazy that I have a collaboration with them. It's insane, right? Because if you're La Chona, people in fucking Asia know La Chona. People everyone knows La Chona, right? But they're from a whole different time.
Right.
So
Yeah.
as a DJ, going to a group of these men that have been around for fucking years writing nonstop fucking hits, how the fuck am I gonna get them to understand what I'm even saying? When it comes to like, I want to collab. You guys playing some? I'm a DJ. I'm sure it looks crazy.
Yeah.
But luckily, that they have a person working with them that explained to them that like, hey, this is the new wave. This is important.
Yeah.
And I fucking have so much respect because they were open minded to it.
Yeah.
And they took a dinner with me, right?
Cool. Yeah.
And I remember I told them, hey, by the way, like, I'm not saying let's make this song now. I'm saying if you guys are down, I'm gonna go study your music.
Yeah.
And it took me 4 years to make this song.
Yeah.
So I studied their music. I studied their instrumentation, the kind of guitar that the singer uses, the kind of flow that the bass plays, because it's similar to a bunch of other genres, but there's certain notes that you play shorter than others.
Yeah.
And I learned all of that. So it took me about 5 attempts, 5 different songs until I got the right one, and then I showed it to them, and they were down.
Yeah.
So it's like, but that right there. That's like, damn, like it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Totally worth it.
Yeah.
But that's how I also gained their trust.
Yeah.
And now this song is like getting 100,000 plays a day.
Yep.
So like it's that what I hope to encourage more artists to do, because that song, like I didn't just like grab the genre and then fucking put it into EDM. Boom. It's like, no, I actually had to learn the genre, understand who I'm collaborating with.
Yeah.
I did the same thing when I made the song with Elvis Crespo. I studied merengue. I learned that there's so much. There's 3 different kinds of merengues. There's so much to immerse yourself. But like that's what I hope to encourage. We don't lose because that's where you're gonna get new Latin music. Where it's like we don't just have to keep going to the old classics. They're classics for sure. But it's like let's keep making that. But now we could do it with EDM. Like
you respect what came before you.
And it's so cool because like a lot of these. There's another song that that I'm about to put out as my next single. There's these guys named Voces del Rancho, right? Okay. And like that's something like every Latino has heard come on pelado, like at the weddings, quinceañeras, baptism, everything. And like, and I ran into one of the singers. I was like, yo, like let's make this collab, And they're super down, and they're super down, and like it's so cool to be able to, get into the studio with these guys, and like it's crazy, like. It's so cool because my family's like, what the fuck, you made a song,
Yeah.
And it's like,
no big deal. Yeah.
I brought him out on stage at my show at the Torch. I brought him out. Cool. And it's so cool. And the thing that taught me that this was possible was that before I really tried to make originals, is I would just grab the classics or like the normal songs without without EDM, and I would just remix them, and then that's how I was like, wait, but like, see, so that if it sounds good, then that means an original is possible. Like, meaning like I could write something like this. It takes a lot of work. It's a lot easier to do a remix for sure.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, I was gonna say that kind of reminds me of like when back in the day when Skrillex collabed with the Doors for Breaking Sweat.
That's right,
yeah. And I remember
it's
like
fucking crazy.
that shit was like, what? The Doors, who was like old school.
I mean, like I love talking and making content about genres and all that stuff, because these are all just imaginary lines that people draw.
Exactly.
And then, and it's funny because people will feel compelled to stick within those imaginary lines when really the best music is going to come from ignoring them. And just like taking the specific aspects that you like from each thing. You're talking about differences in note length, like something is as much attention as you pay attention to what you like in a piece of music is going to make you replicate it the best.
As there's no piece, like when I listen to these songs, like there's nothing that is not crucially needed,
right?
Like everything that like with Tucanes, I kept listening to the song La Chona over and over and over again. And they actually sent me the stems for it.
Cool.
Because and I would just listen to the bass. And it's like, it's so crazy, the difference. Like, it does create a different rhythm when, like, the first note is just, it's like cut in half from the other notes. Like, it's insane. Like, you get to that detail, and that's what gives it that boom, boom, boom,
subtleties.
It's like, so it's like that, like, little paint, like, that. So, like, it's crazy how if you don't pay attention to that, you're not even going to have that rhythm.
I like to say it's complexity hidden within simplicity. Right? It's just like all good music is like that. At least the music that you really feel it. It's like the care was taken to make some very simple elements, maybe 4 or 5 elements or whatever, super complex in their own right. And that's what gives them that depth of character.
And there's another thing that I also that like there's a guitar like a pluck that it's a chord pluck that you can either do it right after the kick or right before the kick, right?
Uh-huh.
Depending on where you put it, determines what genre you're doing.
That's
It's fucking
fun.
crazy.
That's
right?
like
So you could be
Chinese.
you could be like boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, or boom. There's two different paces.
Slightest difference.
But it's like it's two different genres. You know, it's like
Yeah.
that's one thing that like I like. It's like crazy how this knowing that.
Yeah.
You know, and like you can try putting like the that could let's say like something that's more merengue on top of cumbia. You know, it'll sound a little weird, but like it'll work. You know,
Yeah.
people that are musicians will be like, oh, that's not the right rhythm for it.
Yeah.
But like the audience, some people they don't
Yeah.
care about that stuff. You know.
Yeah.
It's like that just reminds me of like the Chinese language. It's like the dialect means everything. You change it up by a little bit, you're completely changing the meaning
Exactly.
of the word, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Or Thai, it's very, very tonal.
Yeah.
Like you could 4 different words.
Yeah,
and
Chinese
it's-
Oh
sounds
yeah,
all
yeah.
the
So yeah,
same.
I remember I saw a TikTok about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could either be saying like an animal or you could be cussing someone out. Like
Yeah,
that's how you
exactly.
say it.
Crazy. Wow, what a line to walk.
The only thing I know, the only thing in that's like that in German is like geil. The word geil means like, oh, that's dope. But if you say like ich bin geil, like I'm dope, technically what you're saying is I'm horny. Yeah,
That's dope.
I mean, that is
that's
dope.
dope. That's what I'm saying.
That's
It works.
dope,
It
too.
works for me.
Hey, it's dope to be horny.
It works for me, so I'm cool with it. Yeah.
Just to throw this in there, Thai is guy. Those are 4 different words.
Does that mean I'm horny?
The dog, chicken, far, close.
Oh, that's what it was. And yeah.
Wow.
Okay. You guys saw the same TikTok.
That's crazy.
And they're all guys.
You're like trying to like explain something like, oh yeah, this animal, and then they're like,
Well, then,
what?
so- see, that's the
Excuse me?
thing.
Like,
You gotta understand the how you say it.
Well, it's
Yeah.
also context.
Context, yeah.
Context, and I feel like it's the same thing with music too. How the context of the rest of your song is gonna help guide anyone to understand like what
Yeah,
you're trying to say.
Totally.
course.
Do we want to do fan questions?
We can do them in the 4th segment.
Oh, we have 4 segments.
What's the time at?
4 segments.
Okay.
What was that?
We have 8 minutes.
8 minutes left. Let's
Yeah.
do the second
I could-
song.
Huh?
Do
We'll do it in
another
the
song?
4th. In the 4th, we usually do in the 4th.
Okay.
The 4th act. I wanted to switch gears a little bit because
Switch gears.
I know that your wife did your pyro for one of your shows. There was a video on it or something.
Yeah, she does for almost every
Yeah.
show.
Does she?
That's cool.
Does she help you with a lot of your like?
Yeah, she
stage
does like
stuff, or-
like all the cryo, all the big shows. You know, she works with the production team.
That's awesome.
You know, like
Sick.
she does. You know, like dude, like she already like every time we do the Insomniac, she's like, oh, you know, we're gonna go with the team. Like she already knows all the production guys, so she does
That's
all that.
awesome.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like it's so cool because you know, like she obviously she hears the music, she knows my sets really well.
Yeah.
So like sometimes I don't even have to tell her, you know.
Yeah.
And then-
Yeah.
But then like when we're like limited, she'll tell me, she's like, hey, you only have 2 shots of, you know, this. You have 3 of those, and you have like, you know, where do you want? Like I'll
Yeah.
tell her. She knows like the important stuff. But then like if we have extra. And I'll just tell her, like, you know what, just wing it, or I'll tell her, you know what, I'm bringing someone on stage. Make sure you save a pyro for that, you know. So it's
Yeah.
like, that's cool.
How's that feel? Being able to have like your significant other just work with something like you on
Fucking love it.
music, man. Like,
I love it. I mean, it's great, you know. And she's my #1 fan, you know.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like, you know, and you know, she brings out the best in me. So
That's
I love that.
That's amazing. And you guys have a kid as well. You
No,
said,
no,
right?
no.
Oh
No,
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 no.
you don't have a kid.
no,
Okay,
my
gotcha.
kids are from when I was little. Like from when I was, I had my first son at, I think it was 15 or 16, and then my second at 18. I think.
How old are you now? Or
I'm 32.
how old are your kids then?
My son's 14 now, and then my
Wow.
other son is 11 now.
I was about to say you bring your kids out to the shows too.
I can't. Yeah, whenever I have the opportunity to, you know, a lot of stuff is 18 plus.
yeah.
Sometimes I'm able to because they make exceptions, but
Right.
they love it, bro. They love it. Every time you're like, you guys want to go show, they're like, hell yeah, you know.
Yeah.
It's cool, man.
Can I play with the fire? Daddy?
Just let me hit the button.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
on the whole time.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie,
it's-
me and Devin talked about this at EDC Orlando, but like one of my
Oh.
life goals, definitely one of my life goals is to be the guy who hits the button for pyros.
God.
Yo,
Like I just want to do that at some point.
Nice.
We were on a stage for San Holo's set though, and because he had asked us to take video for him, and every time the pyro button got hit and all the flames went up, we would just feel these like just droplets
Oh yeah, for
on
sure.
us after, and we're like, all right, we just had gasoline on us right now. Like,
Is that what that is?
I don't
No,
know.
no,
It's-
no,
It's
not
definitely not gasoline.
No,
Like,
no,
Is
no.
it? It's
Before
not,
the
bro.
concentration-
gasoline is combustible.
That's-
You
okay,
like
that's-
that?
that's
It just
good.
Yeah,
explodes.
that's raver sweat.
Oh,
Delicious.
raver sweat.
Condensation builds up at the top.
Yep.
And then, so
Oh.
like then that basically makes it turns into water. That's how it's condensation.
No
yeah.
way.
I learned that in school.
Yeah, what a niche piece of knowledge.
Wow.
Right there.
It's the walls bleeding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Raver sweat. Delicious.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm very glad to hear it's not gasoline.
No, because you
Yeah.
would be dead if that was.
Yeah, I was about to say. I'm
God,
like,
Dude,
we're like
even the-
smelling ourselves
No,
after.
no.
We're like, that's not gas, right?
That's funny.
That'd be so gross. Just automatic combust. Like we're just shooting the video, just light on fire.
Honestly, even if it was like whatever fuel they use, I guarantee you it's not gasoline.
No,
I mean,
it's
and-
not. No, it's not.
They have burned down stages before, right? That happened at I think it was EDC.
Yeah, because something
Oh,
would catch
really?
on fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they burned
It does
down the
happen.
stage. No big deal. It's fine.
No big deal.
Worth
Yeah.
it.
It's an expensive learning lesson. That's dope.
They're super strict when it comes to pyro. Like there's there's some things where like if there's sometimes where Michelle she'll be the director instead, because
Yeah.
like there's like the pyros are too high and like it's like something you got to be certified to do some of
Yeah.
those things,
Yeah.
which but I would much rather her direct than actually do it herself,
Yeah.
because then she has the freedom to kind of like talk to people and like see there's a team,
Yeah.
Right.
and but yeah, whenever there's part like I gotta like there's times where I have to do a safety check and like I gotta get on stage and they run the fires, then they tell me this is what you're gonna feel. It's all right, cool, just like you cannot pass this line, then people when I bring, like, for example, I brought up Voces de Rancho at Torch, we had pyro, right? We had
Yeah.
pyro. So the thing is, we need someone to have eyes on the stage at all times.
Yeah.
At all times, because you don't want to hit that pyro and have someone being where they're not supposed to be.
Right.
So it's like you need to have someone, because that'll imagine that. That's fucking
Yeah.
crazy. So they're very strict and but for good reason.
Right.
You know?
Well, yeah, it's
As they
fire.
should be. That's good. That's good.
Well, so how much you're working with your wife on the show itself, on the production stuff. So how much of your actual set is like rehearsed and scripted versus like what you're going off of in terms of like in front of the crowd? Because I've always been interested in that.
Yeah.
From a DJ versus producer perspective. You
Yeah,
said you
yeah,
didn't come from
so-
the DJing side, so like
So a lot of the big shows, like my like say if I'm gonna do like EC main stage or or like my own like hard ticket show, I definitely plan out a list of songs.
makes sense.
And I always give my team a rough draft. Like, hey,
Yeah.
like this is how I'm imagining it, and I will actually like screenshot it, and then when I'm playing the music, I'll like look to see what song is next. And but these are all songs that I've like pre-edited, like where like
Yeah.
I gotta create like versions, a different version of 5 hours, different,
Yeah.
like, and like it's all planned out. One thing I always keep the same is the intro and outro, and my
Oh,
team is
okay.
all they're well aware of. It's like, hey, I might change something up, like my Torch set. I gave him a list, and like I was like at 30 minutes, and I was just like, yo, like, I'm already running out of songs. I'm gonna take a break, go freestyle, and like, cause they already knew. I was like, yo, I'm burning through these fucking songs.
Yeah.
So and I switch it up. That's the beauty of like not really time coding an entire set where it's like you have to play everything.
Yeah.
It's more like every song that you do play, we already have production for it, and then if they hear it, cool, like that we have something planned for this already, but like I can change the songs. That's the beauty of that kind of freedom.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's always worked. There's the majority of the time I do sets freestyling. And but when it comes to big shows, it's better to have it planned out. It's a better show, when everyone
I think so too.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. I always thought that. I mean, there's I think the weird stigma against people playing. Well, I think it's because people hear the word like pre-recorded set, and they think that that's like
Pre-recorded. Yeah, pre-recorded is
It's a
definitely
different thing.
Yeah, the pre-recorded is when you're not even gonna mix.
Yeah,
like,
you're just gonna stand up there and.
Which I mean,
tell
look, I'll tell you
everyone's-
right now. I feel like it'd be a lot harder to fake a set than.
I would
actually
just be
play a set.
so bored, man. It'd just be so boring up there. Like you're not doing anything.
Imagine like it stops and it's just like fuck.
Well, oops.
Fast forward back to that part.
I gotta say though, it's so funny because we were talking earlier about the live instruments and everything, and I just think it's because we've seen Zed 2 times in a row now at Escape, and then again at EDC, and as
More
a lot
times
of
than
you guys
that, let's be
know,
real.
Zed is my favorite artist.
Nice.
I love
No
watching
way,
him.
really?
He's always, you know what? You bring up Zed this guy in every episode.
Stop.
So.
And what is your response
Both
every
of you
time I
It's the
bring
same
up?
thing. But I just want to point out, it's so funny because he doesn't do live instruments or anything. He just does the same dance move. It's the. It's so funny to me.
Man.
Like,
Hey, the star of the show is the music. All right, that's the star of the
It's
show.
one thing I always like.
Anton, keep it up.
I always I know, and I always say this. Like, you know what? Like for me, like I feel like you know, someone like Zed, all his fucking work is done in the studio.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
yes.
deserves to be up there like,
Yeah.
I work so hard for this.
100%.
You know, so it's like, that's why like people can't talk shit. You know, it's like,
Oh,
bro,
yeah.
like, this seems, he probably just pushing play doing that. But
No, but I love
do you
the
know
fact
what the
that
fuck he does in the studio though? Like,
and yeah.
that's why, like, for me, like, it's like, and I've told people that too. You know, it's like, oh, like, your DJs, you just go up there and play. It's like, no, bro. First of all, you got to earn your spot up there.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yep.
like, you do all that shit in the studio, bro. Like,
Yep.
it's not, you know.
Well, so how do you feel then about about this weird phenomenon? I don't know when this happened. I got in here way after, but like the fact the pattern of people staring and looking at the DJ as opposed to just kind of dancing.
So I come from the scene where the DJ wasn't the like.
Right.
A lot of the raves that I went to, like, I would have to look for the DJ.
The DJ was hidden, right?
Yeah, it was
exactly.
just like, it's just, you know, showing up to a fucking
He's there
warehouse.
somewhere.
We're just fucking rave.
Yeah.
We're just fucking rave. Like, there was no one cared who's DJing.
So how does that feel now?
I mean, it's definitely, but that's the reason why it's become so big, because
Yeah.
now it's like this artist driven.
Got it.
Where back then, I mean, how big can a rave scene be if it's just like, hey, we're just gonna find a spot for people to dance?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
You know,
Fair
the reason
enough.
it became commercials because now there's attractions, like there's entertainment where like you're
Yep.
gonna go see an artist,
Right.
Yep.
You know, so
You're gonna see their visuals.
Yeah.
You're gonna see the story they're trying
exactly.
to put
So
out
it's like
there.
that's what took it to that level. So I mean, I'm lucky I got to experience, like, I mean, I'm sure they're still around. Raves are still around
Yeah.
where it's like, you know, people aren't really going to see a DJ. They want to go rave somewhere. They want to see fucking drugs and fucking rave.
Well,
Yeah,
they did
that's-
that at
that's-
Coachella with Skrillex and whatnot. There was
Yeah.
no visuals. They just had it in
Yeah,
the center.
but
lifted.
what's weird to me though is that they still have the DJ as the focal point. Because like I've been to several undergrounds, and even though it is way harder to see the DJ, and you might not know who's playing there, everybody's
Yeah.
facing the same direction. You know?
Yeah.
So
Well,
I just
actually,
think that's interesting.
At that particular set, at the Skrillex one, back to back Fred again, and I
Yeah.
can't remember the names right now. Fortet. Everyone was dancing with each other.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw anybody really looking toward the middle stage, because I mean, obviously it's a big enough crowd,
Right.
But like I remember looking at my friends and everyone like looking at each other, dancing with each other.
And we talked about this too in a previous episode where that's kind of, I feel like that's the key difference between, like, say, hip hop pop concerts and EDM festivals, right? Is that a lot of people are going for the music and to dance and be with their friends, versus at a pop or a hip hop concert, you're going to see the artist. You're going to, you know,
yeah.
not that like you're praising the artist or anything, but you're going for more of the performance
Yeah.
of the artist versus to be like with your friends
Yes.
and
I
everything
mean-
necessarily.
no shame, but Taylor Swift. Like,
I
good job.
fucking love Taylor
Like,
Swift, bro. I went to a
dude,
concert.
legend.
I went to her
people go
SoFi.
crazy for her.
Bro. Fucking insane, man.
Yeah.
Like, no one, like, it doesn't matter. I don't care how
Yeah.
much you hate. Like,
Her
bro,
performance
she's
level
fuck-
is
Or like
to perform that many fucking songs,
Yeah.
bro. Like, she doesn't talk until her next performance.
I love that.
Did you know that?
I love that.
Wait, what?
So if she's doing 6 shows consecutive, she takes a break, 3 and 3. But the first night after she's done, she will not talk until the next one.
Wow.
She did, that's actually her thing. Like, because dude, to sing like that, like that many songs, I think she did like 40 something songs.
Yeah.
3-hour show, bro.
Wow.
It's crazy how many hits that woman has. It's insane, bro. She's definitely like she's a boss.
Yeah. She's on
Did
another
you know,
level
like,
for sure.
She's I'm about to go off onto it like crazy.
Do it.
But like, you know, when she comes to a city, she changes the economy. She brings in so much
Oh,
value.
yeah.
Like, it's
Wow.
crazy how like she
It's the whole
has
thing
that.
with the other Taylor in the football game and all that stuff.
Yes, yeah, bro. Like, did
People
you
went just
see
to
what
see
she
her.
did with her movie? How like she just came in and she's like, I don't need the fucking studios. Like, I'm just she like her movie was probably like, I think it was second to like what like the biggest movie of the, I don't know what it was.
Wow.
But like, it's crazy how like she just has that power. You know,
Yeah.
that's fucking amazing.
Changing
you
the
know,
game, dude.
Hands down.
and she's been doing it for years. So that's great.
That's nuts.
She's also changing the music industry with the whole re-recording your own shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's and, you know, it's like that's great. That's good for her, and it's crazy how like she really fucked. You know, she fucked everyone. Like fucked the labels, right? How
Yeah.
they were just like no, and she ended up
definitely
re-recording,
educated
and that fucking now the labels are like, we gotta fucking change the rules so that no one could do this again. You know. So it's like,
I feel like that whole thing educated a lot of people,
Fuck
because
yeah.
I did
Yeah,
not
dude.
know that, like, you know, like they owned the song. Like, I knew they owned the song. I didn't realize
masters.
that they only owned that recording.
The masters,
So she like
yeah.
goes and records it again.
yeah,
That's
they own the
crazy.
masters.
Crazy.
And that's the thing, like that's that. But see that also kind of like, you know, like that would make someone not even want to deal with labels. You know,
Yeah.
I think things are different nowadays with like the whole now. You know, it's like you can't back then I remember putting out a song for free. It's like you put it on SoundCloud, cool, hell yeah, But now a lot of people use Spotify and all that, so you know, people don't really download stuff,
Yeah.
And to get music on that, you kind of need to go through like DSPs and like, so there are ways to do it, and but which is great though, because that's that to get your song on a Spotify, or Apple Music, that's the aim now.
Right.
And it's so different than it was back
It's a
before.
standard,
Well,
yeah.
it's also weird because there's a lot of, coming from, I make music, try to get people to hear it, same as a lot of people. And like the idea that a lot of what labels tell you to do is do it yourself. It's like make your content, do whatever you want to do, and promote that music yourself. So it's like, well, when the label's job was that in the first place.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
We're gonna do fan questions, and I'm gonna do a rapid fire moment because there's one person in particular who asked a lot of questions. It is twisted_da_beast.
Beast.
No fucking way. How did you feel when you found out you'd be playing your first EDC?
Oh my god.
Question.
Insane. Dream come true.
Love it. How does it feel going to play in Mexico?
That's like it's like home, going to the motherland.
How do you feel? How do you feel in knowing that you are an idol to many people?
What if you just said bad? It's just like, nah, fuck that.
It's a bad question.
No, it's an honor. It's a great responsibility that I feel like I'm this is what I'm meant for. That I'm here to do.
Sick.
I think you already answered it, but does your life feel like a dream?
It does, yeah. A cool dream.
How did it feel to create music with Los Tucanes and Voces del Rancho?
Yeah, that's
Sorry,
crazy. We just talked about it.
Yeah.
It's insane, but it's also a great example of like, hey, like what's possible, like they're legends, and I'm glad that I get to work with people like that.
How'd you meet Gesture?
Man, I don't know. I remember like I loved his music. We'd always connect online, and then like I would see him at shows, and yeah, that's my boy. Shout out Gesture, team group chat.
Love group chat. Shout out group chat and Gesture, by the way.
There's a Spanglish question.
Try.
Do it.
I don't know where it is. He said, "Can you show him the Spanglish question?" Because he wanted to know if you could read Spanish.
Me? If I can read Spanish?
Maybe he's referring to something specific.
I can read Spanish.
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
Español.
Did somebody else want to ask a question while I look for this?
Yeah. MC Unicorn Official, who is one of our consistent fans, asked if you would ever consider playing Melbourne Bounce again.
Yeah, actually, I'm actually gonna show you a song that I have.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm getting back
nice.
into. I actually, I've been messing around with more of the older sounds that I have, and definitely, I still have fun with this, so it's coming for sure.
Hell yeah.
If Pascal was to visit you while you were playing, is it nerve-wracking having him watch you play?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, no, you know what's crazy? He always stops by.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy how like, and I always feel like surprised. It's like it's Pascual, bro.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how he just finds the time to go say hi, and he'll be there for a cool minute too. I think at my EDC Mexico set, he was there with him and his posse. They were on stage for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask two questions from Devlin. I'm gonna assume the L is a 1. One is who's your favorite Spanish artist?
Oh man, I'm gonna have to say Mana. I think,
Okay.
but only because there's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what are the do's and don'ts if someone were to spot you in public?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah,
That
nice.
is a good question.
Well, approach me. Like I'm very approachable for sure. I would hate that like you didn't get a picture because even if you wanted one, I'm very approachable. Trust me, bro. I don't care what I'm wearing. I'll take the. Trust me. I would much rather give you that moment than like. I don't need trust me. Approach me. All right?
Just come up to me.
Yeah, and I've gotten tweets that say like, "Damn, I saw Deorro'S too shy to say hi." I was like, "What the fuck, man? You should have said hi."
We've gotten that. We've gotten that a
We've
bunch of
definitely
times too.
gotten
Yeah.
Yeah, and what else? Don't not get a picture. Don't miss your opportunity, bro.
I will say though, two probably. Okay, actually, mostly one where you probably shouldn't is maybe not in the bathroom. Like right after I just took a piss.
I always told, you know what? Yeah, I always told like, we're gonna take photos. We'll take them like just away from outside.
Yeah, maybe like not
Like right now?
Yeah,
Like,
like,
you wanna come
like
in
I'm
here?
peeing and then it's like, oh yo,
Yeah.
dude, it's like, oh,
I've
dude,
had like
peed.
someone like come up with the selfie camera
Oh,
while I'm taking a piss too.
No,
Dude,
just
you're
like,
midstream and they're just
Yeah.
like, oh my god, you're Deorro.
Yeah, think about asking anybody that you
Yikes.
see online that you want in a picture.
You're
from.
right. You're
Like,
right.
just
Maybe
be
not when I'm in the
respectful.
restroom.
Just
Yeah.
be respectful.
Yeah, and then the other one I would say is like, well, I mean, eating. Actually, I think
Eating's
eating is
fine.
fine, but
Trust me. Yeah. I
If
don't
I'm
care.
inebriated.
yeah. So I have one story, which is EDC 2022. I was I was on a little too much pre-workout. That's our code word, but and I was just starting to get really nauseous, and Nan had to like walk me to a trash can so I could, vomit. Did not make it to the trash can. Threw up like on the asphalt.
And my shoes.
And literally, yeah, and some of it's, I'm sorry for your shoes, but literally not 15 seconds after, two guys come up to me and they're like, yo, you make the videos. And like, I'm pretty sure they just saw me like vomit. I'm like, okay, guys, you got to give me like 30 seconds to like regroup
Recover,
myself.
bro.
Still take a picture with them though.
Boo.
I
You should've
still,
taken
Dude, I remember trying to wave them off, and like Devin's like, "Nah, it's fine, it's fine."
yeah. I'm like, I still took a picture and then, proceeded to go throw up some more.
You can take a selfie next to the pile of vomit.
Dude, similar situation was me at Academy, and it's just like they were like trying to like talk to me and like give me.
You just had no idea what was going on.
I had no idea what was going on
You were
because
like,
I was literally throwing up as they were talking to me.
I have photos of him.
I'm just like they're just like, oh yeah, like I want. Would you mind listening to my mix and like like
That's crazy. What a time to promote your music.
I'm like,
I know you're struggling right now, but check out my demo, bro.
yeah, dude.
You know what? You know what can
Follow
help
me
you
on
right now?
SoundCloud, bro.
You know what will make you feel better? This banger.
Yeah,
bro.
this banger.
Check me out real quick.
Take out all your nausea.
Let me heal you.
What a moment. I got some nice pics for the memes when that happened. Yeah.
Is that it for the question? That was
oh,
fun.
yeah. No,
there's more.
There's more.
Oh, cool.
We just kind of expanded
Yeah,
on
they,
that.
no,
they
that's
just
great.
wanted to
That's
tell you
fun.
their puking stories.
Do you
That's
have
fucking
one?
hilarious.
Do you
That's
have one?
fucking hilarious.
Well, yeah. So actually, it was my first year at EDC. It wasn't it had anything to do with a selfie, but this was before I made any kind of TikToks. But like walking through EDC, my rave fam was going from one stage to the next, and obviously things went a little south. And just as we were walking, since I didn't want to make a big deal of it, I would just puke as I walked past trash cans, and just kept walking.
Yeah.
The people that I was with had no concept that I had even been puking at all.
And yeah, on that topic, if you got to puke at a festival, please try to do it into trash cans.
Oh, yeah,
there was
yeah.
a guy
Don't
who
be-
was
yeah.
there was a guy at Escape. I mentioned this on a previous episode, but there was a guy at Escape who we were walking from the front stage to the main stage in the back, and this man was literally walking and puking on the ground, and but it was kind of funny because he would get kind of upset every time he would like throw up, so he'd be like, "Damn it!"
is happening?
Yeah, you're like, "Damn it!" And then he'd be like
Not
walking,
again.
and he'd be like, but the problem was just like it was projectiles, so it was
Yeah,
like,
well.
Yeah, but like you can't. Honestly, you can't even.
I'm
If
so
he's,
upset. Why am I throwing up right now?
yeah, exactly.
I'm so
Come
embarrassed.
on, body.
I mean, if he's projectile.
I'm fucking weak, man.
Honestly, though, if he's projectile vomiting, let's be real. He's not all there.
No, for sure he
like
was.
he like I understand your sentiment of like, yeah, of course, throw up in the trash can. But I don't think anyone is purposely thinking, yeah, I'm gonna throw up right here. I think it's more so like, I don't think I'm gonna make it.
I think it's
That's
just
true.
a matter of lack of courtesy.
Have
It's
your
just like-
friends around
Yeah.
too.
Oh
Like
my
have
God.
some people you trust around that can like at least be there with you, because
I
yeah,
can
that's
see-
not a fun spot.
I mean, to be
in.
fair, I think he was upset about it. Like he got mad. He was like, "Damn it!"
I mean, to be honest, when I'm fucked up, I like to. Well, okay, I don't think there's been any other time where I've like had to throw up in the middle of like a big, like public area. Besides like when I was, I don't know, in middle school, right? But like aside from that, now I feel like I have a pretty good like
Yeah,
handle
you have a
on
gauge.
not letting myself throw up until I am in a spot where I can safely throw up. You know what I mean?
So
I hate
like,
throwing up.
so
yeah.
lesson really is puke in a
hate
trash can, or don't push yourself to that limit. Yeah, do that.
sometimes
The
you don't-
latter's probably the
All right,
best.
let's move
option.
on. Can we move on? Not
Yeah,
talk
for
about
puking?
that
Yeah,
anymore?
totally.
Cool.
To be fair, sometimes you don't see it coming, and it's just like talking to a girl.
Don't give them an
Oh,
out.
like
man.
your story?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, Christian95 asked Modelo or Pacifico? Thanks, Christian.
Modelo.
Modelo.
I agree with you.
I agree.
I
Modelo.
think I'm just used to it.
Yeah.
fair.
That's what they always have.
That's fair. That's fair.
I always take a Pacifico. Though.
I mean, Pacifico is good
So,
too,
yeah.
but yeah, Modelo just has like a nicer.
Yeah.
There's a nicer like
It goes well with
it's
micheladas.
crispier. I feel like. I don't know.
Crispier.
Yeah, to me.
Not
Yeah.
a beer drinker.
Beeb001 asks if you prefer to play at festivals or venues.
I like both. There's festivals is great because there's so many reasons because there's people that are seeing you for the first time or they're just
Yeah.
finding out about you. Or like venues, it's like they're most likely those are going to be like people that are fans, and like you
Yeah.
get to give them a show, and it's very intimate. There's a lot more things I can do at venues.
Yeah.
I could do like easier meet and greets. And like there's reasons for both, and and same even small intimate little pop up shows as well. Like those are fun too. Privates are
Yeah.
dope. So it's like as long as I'm playing, that's all that matters.
Yeah. 100%.
YK Jesse with emoji face asked, "What's the worst and best part of being a popular EDM DJ?"
I think the best part is I get to I get to travel and I get to do what I love, and I think the worst part is rest. Damn.
Yeah,
The worst part. I mean, it's all great. It's,
Yeah.
Maybe lack
maybe
of
no
sleep.
sleep. Yeah, no
Yeah,
sleep.
I was literally about
'Cause
to say, like, lack
no,
of sleep.
No sleep takes takes time off of your life. So it's
Yeah.
like, but
Oh, man.
you gotta
I'm
learn how
not
to.
gonna live long then.
You gotta
I would say, based on what you were saying earlier, it's just like that brief moment where you started to question your relationship with music, like being in the business.
Well, yes, I mean, like
industry.
that's why, like, I just wish there was someone there to teach you like, hey, if you're gonna get into this, you have to learn balance.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to even try to learn balance, you need to understand what actually matters and what you just want.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to understand that at such a young age.
yeah.
Like there's certain things that I would do that didn't really matter, but for some reason I believe they did. And like it took so much energy from me, and like, but now I value like my time that I get to rest.
Yeah.
Like and my agents, before, like, I just got another agent, and first conversation we had was like, hey, I need you to understand something. I get what it looks like to them. To them, it's like an artist, and they plug this artist into whatever routing, and the more shows, the better, right? I tell them, mate, one thing I'm gonna always do is I'm gonna remind you that I'm human. Me and my team, we're fucking humans. We need sleep. We need time to use the restroom. We can't be doing these crazy connections. You gotta understand, like, you gotta give room for little errors. Say there's an accident on the way to the airport. Don't like, let's make sure, like, just remember that you're with the name you're plugging into this certain routings, like those are people, so make sure that you give us time to fucking sleep.
Yeah.
It's like, and like, that's something that, like, I learned, and it's like, and that's I didn't care about that in the beginning,
Yeah.
and it affected me a lot. I was exhausted, bro.
Yeah.
I remember one time, I think we did like a 26 show in Europe within a matter of with my boy Pat. He was my tour manager, and we were about halfway, and we were trying to get in. It was a connection in France. I was fucking tired, right? I was tired because it's nonstop,
Yeah.
and it's just like, it's exhausting. And I remember I was going through immigration, right? And like, the guy was just like, okay, where are you going? What do you do?
Right.
I was just like, honestly, I don't know where I'm going, And then he thought I was fucking with him. He was like, oh, what do you mean you don't know where you're going? Like, you think this is funny? You think this is funny? Like, yo, I can send you home right now. I was like, please. I was like, I'm fucking tired. And then that's
I don't know where I am.
That's when he stepped in. He was like, oh, no. He's a touring artist, But it's like, bro, like, but he saw it too.
Yeah.
When I answered like that, I was like, bro, like, I'm fucking tired, bro. I do not want to be here.
Yeah.
And but that's how tiring it would get,
Yeah.
I thank God Pat was there, because they would actually send me home. But yeah, it's like, I mean, I didn't like, you see this list of cities, and you're just cool. He tells me where we're going next. As long as I'm my concern is just getting up, getting on the plane.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool. Now today we're in Prague.
Yeah.
It's like that's but that's essentially what touring is, especially when you do it nonstop like that in the beginning. And but yeah, and we did that for a few years, like back to back. Especially touring in Europe is like, see, Europe is what the U.S. is, right? But
Yeah.
like over there, you drive 2 hours and you're in another country.
Yep.
100%.
You know, so
Yeah.
that's why you can do these. You could do 3 shows in one day.
Yeah,
You know,
Yep.
and people take advantage of that. Like, when I remember my summers, like I had to gear up for my summers. I would live in Europe
Wow.
for an extended, like probably 2 months, and I would just do like as many shows as I can.
In theory, it sounds great, but it's like
I mean, yeah, it is, and like there are ways to do it. You know, I remember the early days. It's just like fuck it. You know, we're like sometimes we would just book the only fights that were available. And,
Yeah.
like, so it's super uncomfortable, and sometimes it's just but that's what it is in the beginning. You know, that's a really long
Crazy.
answer.
It's crazy. They have to
That was a
remind.
good answer,
It's crazy
though.
that you have to
That was a very
remind
good
people,
answer.
like remind agencies and stuff like that. It's like, yo,
I'm a human
Yeah.
being. By the way.
Relax.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like, I
I'm
know
not
you-
a machine.
It's like I know you want
And you know-
like
and you know what,
30
and, like,
shows out
yeah.
of me, but I am tired.
Yeah, and like
30 bangers.
they they take into, so I have like really bad feet, like I've gotten surgery, everything, and like my agent, he's very mindful of that. So like he'll always remember like okay, if I'm doing one set, right, and then they also want me for an after party,
can't walk.
they'll tell me, okay, he could do the after party if you make his first set 1 hour and his second set another hour.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
2 hours max.
Okay, but like
You know?
standing, you mean?
Yeah,
Okay,
standing. Yeah, so
okay.
it's like that's something that's a factor, you
Yeah.
know. And sometimes I'll be able to push it for an extra, hour and a half if if I'm not doing a show the night before. That means my feet are even more rested, you know.
Yeah.
So we take all that, we add that into we consider all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just got to get one of those knee stools where, like, behind the DJ booth, you're just like your knees are on it.
That'd be pretty funny.
No one will know.
Good
I'm just
idea.
like in the same position.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna have my two-hander move me around. It's gonna be like this.
You get wheels on the
You're
bottom
like
of it. Yeah.
floating like from side to side.
It's like, yo, bring me my guitar. Bring me over there. Bring me over there. Yo, I gotta go back over there.
You could just set up one of those like mechanical bull rigs and just have it back there and it'll
Yeah,
like, slide
You're
around.
just not syncopated at all with like your the movement of your arms.
Slowly going across the
Yeah,
Starts glitching and like
turning
smoking
you
up.
around, facing the back
stops
end.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Good idea.
One of our photographers, Erick Orrosquieta, asks, "Why do you love throwing roses like you did at EDC 22?"
So I remember I went to have you guys ever been to medieval times?
No.
Yeah,
Okay, so the guys were riding around on horses and they were like throwing like these roses,
one of
right? They were throwing roses out, and I remember it was me, my boys, and then my wife, and I remember I told the boys, I was like, "Yo, let's try to get his attention, try to get him to throw one at Michelle."
Yeah.
So like so we were able to grab his attention. We were like, "Oh, right here, throw one right
Yeah.
here," and he threw one, and like Michelle caught it, and I was just like, "Wow, that was fucking amazing." You know, like what the fuck, like.
yeah.
I was like, I should do this at shows, like that feeling of like getting a rose. I don't even know this motherfucker. And I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck yeah, we fucking did it, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I've always wanted to find something that I could do. And I think the roses kind of just clicked. I remember he had like the red ones, and I looked into it, and they're like, there's these colorful LED ones. I was like, what? It's perfect, you know? So,
Oh, that's
yeah,
sick.
every show I always throw about, I think it's like 100 roses.
Love that.
And then like some shows we'll do like 4 boxes, you know, like remember
Yeah.
the Palladium was like we did like 4 in one night, 4 boxes. That's 400 roses.
Yeah. Such a simple thing, but like can have such a large impact.
Dude, like
you know?
and like what's cool too, like when someone says like, hey, like, I specifically went to your show and I really wanted a rose and I got one, you know,
Yeah,
and they'll show
I
me a
love
picture of
that.
it. I'm like,
Hey,
that's
man.
fucking dope.
Yeah.
Giving people a feeling.
Dude, and then I guarantee you they either like dried out that rose, kept it at home, like put it in a book, did the whole thing, like
Well, they're fake roses.
oh the fake roses.
Yeah, they're
Fake-
like
Perfect.
LED ones.
They
Yeah.
don't even
Even
age
better.
then.
Yeah. And like the little battery pack serves as like a nice little weight.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not like the people in the back are not really paying attention, so I don't actually fucking hit someone in the eye. You know? But I got really good aim though. You can tell my team, bro. Like I'll be like,
Yeah.
see that guy over there? Check this out. Boom.
Wait, whose aim's better, yours or
Here
What's his
goes.
name?
Steve
Here
Aoki.
goes.
Steve Aoki
no.
with the
Oh
cake.
yeah, Steve's got
You can't. Yeah.
That's some crazy weight.
He's got that arm. He's
You know,
been
like
doing
yeah,
this-
you know, he had to
does.
get surgery for that too. There was a moment where he,
Wow,
That's why he has a robot
that's
arm.
crazy. What do you get, Tommy
So as a
John
rope-
surgery? Like what?
Yeah, I remember one time he was just like, I have to get like surgery or something. And I remember
That's crazy. I wonder if he got.
when I brought him up at Coachella, he was wearing the arm thing.
Wow.
It's
He probably
clear.
threw his
He
arm
got
out
a
or
No,
something.
he got a robot arm. It's clear.
Yeah, dude.
He probably.
He fucking would too.
I honestly, I actually
Steve wants to,
wonder.
yes.
I actually wonder if he got like the surgery that a lot of pitchers, like baseball pitchers, get, which is Tommy John surgery.
No, it's
they get
actually
for, like,
new.
yeah.
Okay.
I
It's
wonder.
crazy. There's like there are surgeries you can do. Like if you want to do something that like damages you, like there's things you can do. Like there's that the one where like if you sing falsetto.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I think Usher has a surgery. The guy from Coldplay has a surgery. Like they had, like if you look at their next. They have because singing in falsetto destroys your vocal cords.
Yes,
you know,
it does.
I remember one time I was trying to record something and like I kept looping it, and then the next day it sounded like I had strep throat.
Yeah, and I don't sing to people, but I sing a lot in the car and in the shower, and I like to sing falsetto a lot, and I do notice that my voice the next day is a little raspy.
But there's the way around it.
Dude, that actually explains a lot. Because like I was screaming a lot at EDC Orlando, but my voice is fine. But whenever I sing falsetto at home for like a day or karaoke for one night, my throat is fucked the next day.
The falsetto is just pure vocal cords, so it's like you're fucking them up. Huh?
Yep. The more you know.
The more you know.
Well, on that, you said you had one more song for us.
Yeah. Cool.
Would love to hear it.
Music.
So you want another question? One last
Oh,
one?
I was gonna ask if I could FaceTime my roommate real fast.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Real quick.
Dude, I feel like she'd love it.
All right. Listen.
Shout out
She may
Jackie,
or may
by
not
the
answer.
Her
way.
name's Jackie.
You guys know Bassbaedaniel. So one of our hosts, this is his girlfriend.
Okay.
They live with
I'm
me.
FaceTiming Jackie.
Jackie.
He's just gonna take the.
Okay.
What if she's just like, who are you? What is this?
Does she know that you're?
Does she know what I look like, or she just knows?
Does
me?
she know that you're doing this?
Oh, this will be interesting.
All right. Hi.
Yo.
How you doing?
Sorry, let me pull up really quick.
Oh, she's driving.
Oh, oh, Nad, come on!
She
You
got
couldn't
off.
have waited.
Because I
Why are
know
you
where she
answering
is.
FaceTime for driving?
Okay, drive safe,
He
Jackie.
told me he was gonna call me. I just didn't know when.
Pull over.
I just wanted to say hi.
Hi.
Thank you for the love.
Yeah,
Send you a big hug,
Sorry,
okay?
I'm like gonna cry.
Yeah, we told Eric what you said about him being a huge inspiration for you and just all his music speaking to you.
Yep. You and
Thank
your
you,
family.
Alex.
That's what Daniel kind of told me, and I know you mentioned it to me a little bit as well.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my cousin was like a huge fan, and she just recently passed away.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Look, just know that,
Yeah,
just know that, like, you know, you mean the world to me, and like this is the reason why I do this, because it's so much bigger than me, and it's thanks to you that I do it the way I do it, you know, with so much passion and so much love, and it really does mean everything to me.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I love like your set at EDCO was probably like one of my favorites.
Thank you so
I was
much.
getting emotional at that set too. I had a great time.
Thank you, my love. All right, nice to meet you, and drive safe, okay?
Yeah, don't get in an accident, Jackie.
Absolutely.
Okay, take care.
Have fun filming. Have
Thank
a
you.
great time, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, Jackie.
All right, that's amazing, bro.
Oh.
Phone, please.
See that? This is crazy. Like how that's what I'm talking about when it comes to it's not just like I'm not just making sounds, bro. It's more than that. You know?
Yeah, and it's hard to remember that sometimes because like we're so used to just seeing numbers on a screen.
Oh yeah.
And,
There's so much
in
to
this,
him.
like content era and everything that we do. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but I also hate it. Like sometimes the numbers just get to our heads, and then you forget.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Like
it's
that one person.
and it is something that can consume you. You know, and for me, I understand the value and the importance of it. You know, it's good. It's as a business person, you know that you gotta understand your business. You want it to work. It's like
you want to grow.
You want to take care of it like a plant. You know, like you gotta water. You gotta know how it works. You know, but at the same time, don't let it consume you.
Yep.
100%.
Especially if there's something more important, which is making the music. You know, it's like that's something that like it's your responsibility to make time for it.
Yeah,
And you gotta have fun with it.
Yeah.
With
making
bigger
people feel, bro. Make people feel.
with bigger and bigger numbers, right? It's like I've always told people, like people come at me because of numbers, but then I will always say the same thing, and that's one person at a time.
Yeah.
It's like it's a person that you're trying to communicate with. No
Yeah,
matter what you're
100%.
trying to do, you're trying to make the people around you feel better or whatever. So that's what's really important.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, on that-
music.
Yeah.
Music.
Okay, cool. So, So yeah, I'm doing a lot of like some bounce stuff, and I'm gonna show you guys a remix that I did for
All right.
Pickle.
Pickle. Hey.
Pickle.
I fucking love
Hey.
Pickle,
Pickle's
bro.
been popping up at Academy and Exchange.
His whole I fucking love Pickle, bro.
Yeah.
Alright. This is my remix.
So bouncy.
This is how you dance the house.
Like a zombie with your hands up.
It's the new move, bro.
Start tutting.
I can't tut, bro. I can't do it.
It's hard.
I can finger roll. That's it.
Oh yeah.
Just energy.
It's that festival shit right here. That main stage festival energy.
Bro, it's so weird how EDM like just incorporates anxiety, like it's just a part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like this.
So this is the style I used to make like all the time back in like 2014,
Yeah.
2013. Like
It gives me that big room,
Yeah.
big room
Yes,
feeling.
it's very
Yeah.
reminds me very much of the Big Room House era.
Embrace the chaos.
Hey, where'd you hear that?
He says it every episode.
Lit.
Dude, I've adopted that phrase.
Drop number 2, baby. Let's go. Ooh.
Acid, acid, acid,
Said acid.
acid.
Nice. Bringing that octave up. Yeah.
yeah, it's always like I forget how like how much fun this music is. Like
That's a festival banger for
it's like,
sure.
It's so simple, but it just like
Yeah.
it's
The,
energetic.
the offbeat donkey
Yeah.
bass, just dong 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 dong. It's goofy.
You know
It's
what?
goofy,
You know
it's
what's crazy?
fun.
So the reason why I chose to make that kind of music, I remember in the beginning, the reason why I would do kick bass,
Yeah.
is because it was the easiest shit to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like I was like, I would try putting, you know, I would try mixing kicks and subs on top of each other. It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna make one at a time.
Yeah.
And that's why I did that genre so much, because it's easier to mix.
It just speaks to that part of you that
Plus
was
it's
like.
fucking,
I mean, you were using Mixcraft. You had to use what you got, and in this case, you're
Yeah.
like, I can't make a kick and a bass work at the same time. I'll
yeah,
just
like,
put
I didn't
it
know
on.
what the fuck sidechaining was back then. You know,
Yeah.
you don't need sidechain when you're just doing that.
If they're not happening at the same time, yeah, why does it matter? Sick.
One at a time.
I love
Hey,
that.
Fucking Pickle, man.
Pickle,
Yeah.
yeah,
Pickle.
It's great, amazing. Like his visuals are fucking crazy.
I have not
He's
seen
the
him
whole
live.
He's the whole package. Like he's got the visuals already. He's got the mask, and like the music is
Yeah.
dope, bro.
Just needs a brand of
Coming
pickles.
up. He's coming
Just
up.
needs a pickle brand.
Yep,
Man.
he needs to throw pickles down.
Yeah, seriously.
Just throw pickles down.
That's so gross.
I'll be fully honest.
Fuck
Imagine
roses.
just like,
I got a pickle.
I'm gonna be honest.
At a festival.
Straight up, if somebody threw a pickle me,
Rubber
like,
pickle,
like a
imagine that.
like a real
Imagine
edible pickle
that could be used for
at
so
me, and
many
I caught it, I'd probably eat it.
guarantee you,
A rubber
though,
pickle,
you wouldn't
imagine.
like.
I-
Imagine you're yelling, you're like, and then it just
Damn. I just perfect shot into your mouth. Just have you seen the fucking hot dog where they like they're tossing the hot dog and they're trying to get like a perfect like literally into the throat
No,
and
I've
everything?
not seen that.
Yeah, dude, it's gnarly.
Humans are weird, man.
Yeah. I almost wore my Pickle Rick ugly sweater today. Damn, I wish I would now. I got a giant Pickle Rick at home too from Rick and Morty that I won at a fair, and it's literally like this big off the ground.
Hey man, get Pickle on here, and you have the opportunity. Yeah,
that's true.
Does he talk?
He will, I guess. Right? He bring a translator.
That's true. Yeah,
Hopefully.
a lot of them. Yeah,
He's gotta be a Pickle translator.
I mean, we have people with masks on who are just like, I'm gonna keep my mask on though.
Yeah, Reaper was talking about coming on here, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna just talk through my eye hole." Like, apparently that's
See
what
a
he
little
does.
tongue come out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It's not a mask; it's his real face.
Yeah,
He just talks out his eye.
that's dark.
I mean, yeah,
Wow.
he's a ghoul, right? Ghoul goblin.
Wow.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's great though. Awesome. Well, we're pretty much at the end of the episode. That all flew by.
Yeah.
That was wonderful.
Eric, thank you so much for
Thank you
being
guys
on
for
here, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you guys
but,
for having me.
Before we like end this all out,
Yeah.
like, do you have anything you want to plug? Like, you
Yeah.
know, since this episode airs on what the
20th.
20th. So like anything that
20th.
might be airing after, or you know, songs, shows, tours, etc. Anything you might want to
Yeah.
plug. And
What you got
where
planned
can we
for
find you? Like,
2024?
where can we find you on like Instagram and stuff?
My handles are all just Deorro.
Yep.
Deorro, Twitter, Facebook, Yelp.
Yelp.
Pinterest.
LinkedIn.
I be leaving the most fire reviews though.
Yeah, and then what's the Threads? I don't really use that.
Yeah.
I stopped using that.
All the things.
Could you imagine if someone gave you a LinkedIn at like a festival? It's like, hey, can I get your contact? Here's my LinkedIn.
Bet, bro. Why not?
And then I think my next release is the Camarón Pelado with Voces del Rancho. I think should be out by then. I think, or if not,
Okay. Go stream it.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna shoot a music video. We'll invite some fans and stuff, so that should be fun. And
Fire.
what else? I'll see you guys at Countdown.
Hey.
Countdown.
All right.
Hey. You're out here in LA too, no? Or yes?
Are you based out here?
Yes, I live here. Yeah.
Okay.
I live about 45 minutes east. I live in San Dimas.
Okay. Got it.
San
Well, no,
Dimas.
next time you're out here, let's kick it, man.
Well,
Okay.
seriously,
Yeah.
man.
Shows
Thank you for sharing like the stories and like the
Yeah.
realness
No,
behind
thank you for
music.
yeah.
thank you for allowing me
Yeah.
to do that, because that's why I love doing this. You know, because it's like, you know, I like to show people, it's like, hey, like there's I'm normal too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Because you know, what people see is just whatever my pictures from my
Yeah.
photo shoot
Yeah.
and me at shows. You know, but it's
Yeah.
like at the same time, it's like I want people to get to know me.
Yeah.
And then like this is perfect for that.
Yeah.
He's a simp. He's a simp like me. You know, his best song is Because of Love. I'm just saying.
Have you thought about starting a podcast?
You know what? Yeah, I have.
I
but,
think you should.
The thing is, it's just with my schedule. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Like,
it-
a lot of work.
it is a
it's
lot
like,
of work.
Yeah, it's
Lot of work.
like,
Trust
and
me,
for me,
it
I'm
is.
very like I used to do like a little radio show.
Yeah.
And I got about 4 episodes, and I was like, I can't do this, bro.
Yeah.
You know,
You
because
need, like,
I was doing everything by myself.
Yeah,
though.
you need
Yeah.
a full team.
You know, you need a full team, and
team.
like. And but yeah, like it's something that like I'm telling you now, I'm just very careful with. Like I would
Yeah.
love to fucking do that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like I don't even know where to start. Like, you know, like first of all, like
Let me know.
you know,
Let me know.
And you don't want to stretch yourself out too thin right now.
course.
Anyway, you got
Yeah.
like a big
100%.
year. You got a big 2024 coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm happy. Thank you so much. I love doing this shit, bro. I
Yeah.
love talking. I love like having a conversation, you know,
Hell
and
yeah.
learning about. I just love it. Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
yeah, we learned
Thanks for
so
being
much
here,
today.
man.
Yeah, I think it's really helpful. You came on here and you just gave people more perspective on you, your story, your music, and
Yeah.
like I think it just gives people a better chance to connect with
Yeah.
you. And
Cool,
if
yeah.
that's your mission for music, then you're doing a good job with that.
Thank you so much.
That's good.
Real quick, want to give a big shout out to our patrons. If you didn't already know, we have a Patreon. And if you're looking for a way to support us, that is definitely the best way. I'll put all our patrons' names on screen now. And yeah, seriously, you guys, thank you so much to all of our patrons. And to people who are interested in maybe subscribing to the Patreon, we release bonus content. We do call-ins on our non-guest episodes. We have a Discord. So if you want to go check that out and see more of us, definitely go check that out. That is 100% the best way to support us. And even if you're not a patron, we still love you. And thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. I'll let you do the rest.
Smash that notification bell, like it, subscribe it, share it to your friends. We love that you're here.
Why do you have to do it in that voice, though?
Because they need to know that Mickey's
That's
at
the way it
probably
feels.
grab
here.
that
Mickey
voice
is
smart
here.
because
She's
I'll,
just-
I'll probably grab someone's attention. Like, oh,
Yeah,
shit, what the fuck?
that's true.
Yeah.
That is
Wait,
true.
who's that?
If you just all of a sudden start yelling, like that'll fucking grab
Yeah,
someone's
that's
attention.
true.
Yeah.
And
Tell you
she
what,
does do that
I'll
on
fuck-
our episodes.
I'll fuck up my voice for this. Smash that notification bell, like it, subscribe it, share it to your friends. If you want to be a supporter, please go on Patreon. We love you.
It's that
And
falsetto.
we're the I'm
That
Peaking
falsetto, bro.
Podcast.
Fucking up the vocal cords.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you in 2 weeks. Let us know what you want to see next. We'll see you in 2024 in the next episode.
In the next episode.
Yeah. See you
next year.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Take it easy.
Damn, this year went by so fucking
I
fast,
know,
bro.
dude.
Yeah, it did, dude.
What the fuck?